Hey yo folks, and welcome to episode 94 of Malt and Magic, the Forgotten Kingdom of Nyling, campaign 1 of Malt and Magic, which is rapidly barreling towards some form of conclusion, I think, as we go through these encounters and these mysteries and start to unlock little nuggets as we go along the way. But before we get into all that, let's go through our usual thank yous. So a massive thank you this week to Incarnate. I have been building the world maps, if you like, for the larger Malt and Magic universe, we'll say. So not just for Nylin, a lot of that stuff was already done, but sort of how we expand going forward as we move forward with Malt and Magic. So a huge thank you to Incarnate. Of course, a shout out to Alba Radio for virtual tabletops. I finally have a date for the version 2 private beta or public beta, I can't remember what it is, but one of the two, which is the 9th of June. So we may in a couple of weeks have a bit of a play around. We'll see how worthwhile it is, because there's going to be a few features missing, I'm told. So we'll see what's going on. I'm loving the fact we've already got a hello there in the chat, given that Kenobi landed on Disney Plus last week. So that is awesome. Thank you for doing that straight away. Huge thank you to Dungeon Alchemist. Again, I know we've not used them recently. I will use them, I promise. And we will get another awesome dungeon map going. We will see some of that going forward. And then, of course, a thank you to D&D Beyond, although we've just realised that the Twitch extension seems to have gone missing. So we're going to figure out whether that's a D&D Beyond thing. Maybe we missed a bit of news, but we'll figure that out in the background. So, yes, thank you to D&D Beyond anyway for everything else they do, because it's awesome. And then, of course, a shout-out to Hero Forge. You will notice some updates shortly as we go through today's game, all of which are courtesy of Hero Forge. So keep your eye on them. There's some awesome updates to the characters there. And then just thank yous to my sort of DM's tools, if you like, that I use in the background. So to Ksoon, 5e Magic Shop, and 2-minute tools. 2-minute tools tonight will be very important, as it's where I've grabbed certain tokens for our first encounter, which we are going to probably dive straight into, I believe. And then, of course, our musical ambience and sound effects. A massive thank you to Tabletop Audio, of course, where we get a lot of musical tracks, but the majority of our sound effects come from BattleBards, and we are affiliated with BattleBards. So if you want the chance to get some sound effects in your own game, radio play, live show, whatever you're doing, whether it's D&D, any other tabletop role-playing game, or whatever really, go and use the code Malt and Magic when you register and get yourselves a nice cheeky discount off some sound effects there. Cool, I think that's the thank yous. Go check us out on the social media links you can see popping up along the bottom there. So Twitter, Instagram, of course, you're on Twitch if you're watching us right now. If you're listening to the podcast, thank you very much. If you're watching us on YouTube, thank you very much for that as well. And speaking of that, don't forget to go and check out the podcast if you haven't done so already. We are, as I've said over the last couple of weeks, it's nice and steady growth on the podcast, which is great to see. So thank you to those who are listening to us. It's great to have you along. And as I say every week, if you can leave a little rating, a review, anything like that, just to help us spread the word, that will be amazing. But thank you to all who are listening, as well as those who are watching live with us tonight. I think that is it for me tonight. So we've got some underwater encounters to deal with, and some big bitey things, which could be fun. So there will most certainly be adult language. Most definitely be adult humour. You have been warned. Let's roll. Hello.
Hello.
How are we all
Hello.
doing?
We're in. Good, and also watching the intro was like, how many renditions have we been through our characters now until since the intro? I'm like, wow.
I was thinking this earlier this week. Danny, you and we are going to post like just a montage of the character tokens as they have changed, because I save them different in Hero Forge every time we do an update. So we're literally going to do some side by sides of how the characters have evolved over the couple of years we've had them.
Just to bring up again all of the stuff that I've lost.
100%.
There is that point, yes.
I'll tell you what.
There we go.
I was just thinking. I wonder if I could do something fun. So let's carry on our usual.
Well, let's leave you with that for a minute. We'll run down the lineup. So, hello everybody. If you are new or returning, hello everyone. Anyway, I am Matt. I am the Dungeon Master for this evening. Also playing the psychic character of Bothrid and some mighty creatures. And there he is. There is Bothrid in his new form with the axe, javelin of lightning, the double-bladed quarterstaff on his back, and his chimera's cloak. They don't do a lion's head, unfortunately, on Hero Forge, so I had to improvise with a bear.
Still amazing.
I am Danny, and I play the soon-to-be King of Nylin and a Splinterthorn, who looks a bit like Vision with his circlet.
Which is very fitting, because it is an Ioun stone.
Yeah.
Badass. So I've essentially got a Mind Stone around my forehead. I haven't stolen any intellectual property, Disney. Don't come at me.
Yeah, please don't. Hello, I am Simone, and I play Kirik Gravetusk, the fighter cleric, who, it's got new toys that he hasn't used yet. So hopefully we'll get to see something.
It'll be fun.
Hello, I'm Dave. I play Dargon, the Goliath fighter warlock, and I'm rapidly trying to press buttons while doing it as well. So yeah, we've updated, and that's why you can barely see Dargon's face in this, because we realised obviously he's wearing some badass armour, and therefore comes with a shiny helmet.
Solar Swift armour now, yeah.
A shiny helmet.
It's all good fun.
You did that on purpose, didn't you?
What, shiny
Dargon
helmet?
Is a shiny helmet.
Saying absolutely nothing.
Come at me, bro.
So, last week we dealt with some marrieds and sort of saw them off, and then, having defeated them, made our way sort of into the body or the carcass of a sunken ship. And had a long rest in there, this time Amanda choosing not to venture outside of the dome. But instead, as you all got closer to the city and started to see the walls, if you liked, the ramparts of this, what was once a dock area, Amanda started to have a series of dreams which ebbed and flowed throughout the night as various watches were taken. Kirik had a conversation with the Raven Queen. She was not quite expecting to happen. And there are reasons as to why that has happened, which we may discover. Dargon, of course, you had a very long, not very long, but a long heart-to-heart with Timiel's Wrath.
Yeah.
Around what you were going to do, and she asked you a question, and you made her a promise. Kirik, of course, getting some information about the Stillmen and their current state and their current whereabouts, which was revealing, I think is the term, but ultimately the big plot points were some of the history of Nylin, which landed in Anders' dream, seeing Geth in this kingdom of Esamere, if you like, and then seeing the shining jewel of a city, seeing him die, or not seeing him die, but seeing his funeral procession cross the bridge, only for it to then cause Esamere to sink into the lake. Then seeing the seer, seeing through the eyes of the seer, seeing a grey-robed Gindris wander up to the funeral procession, with this distraction and steal something. The dagger which Ander now wears on his hip. And then seeing through the eyes of Gindris, as Gindris turned into his draconic form and flew across Nylin, seeing how different Nylin was before landing in Shiverspire. And then we decided to take a jaunt into the city proper. So, having had a long rest and waking up and going through the broken gate of this docklands, there was a few things that you realised were in the area. There was this sort of strange bluish glow to the northwest. There was a pull for Kirik to the southwest, but ultimately Ander felt this very, very strong pull to the centre of the city. We found the throne room. He didn't hang around, he went straight into the throne room, and Ander was pretty much just making a beeline straight for the throne itself, only for then 6 shapes to sort of appear out of the darkness as this huge double-headed shark raised up from behind the throne, sort of hovered over it, and then these 5 giant sharks just swimming around you. And you have already piqued their interest. And so the first thing we are going to do tonight is roll some initiative, folks.
Yes.
Okay, here we go.
So let's roll some
I
initiative.
do need the Excel sheet up, don't I? You plum sack.
22.
15.
Damn.
3.
That's high.
Advantage. 19. What do you get, Kirik?
12.
12. And Dargon?
14.
14, in which case that's going to be Ander, Bothrid, Dargon, and Kirik.
Yeah, boy.
And so I suppose it's fitting then, Ander, as you sort of stride up to this throne. I say stride, you're moving at half speed because you have no swimming speed. But you do move forward to the throne to see this huge double-headed shark, and I've made it a hammerhead shark on here. This is what I imagined when I was reading the description of the creature. So these 2 hammerhead sharks conjoined from the neck down into a single shark, but twin heads, if you like, rises up, and you can see the fan of teeth in each maw beneath it. You can see the 5 sharks sort of swimming around the area. What would you like to do, sir?
Well, first thing I'm going to do is cast slow on Shark A, B, and the double-headed bastard, because they're the only
You can
ones
call it
within
the maw.
range. The maw.
So,
Wisdom 18 saving throws.
the maw first is going to fail that with a 15, but instead we'll use a legendary resistance to succeed.
Bastard.
I'm sorry, Esamere is closed today.
So, and then Shark A. Natural 20.
We're off to a
Hey,
good
we've already
start.
burned through
Hit
one
the
resistance.
button. Hit the button.
Duh, but
Shark B gets a 12. So you managed to slow
Good.
over, mate.
Yeah, but not the one I wanted to. Okay.
Right, so now I've got that ring up, I can actually make this the right size.
They're large boys.
Yeah.
Oh, indeed. I'm just going to do this for each of them just so I should have done this earlier, really. Make them occupy the right place.
So I slowed B. That's it. I fucked it. Don't want a bonus action. Anybody? I will give. Will anybody need bardic inspiration? Yeah. Dargon can swim. He'll get there first. I'll give it to Dargon. Bonus action, or you give bardic inspiration to Dargon.
Okay, but
He's going to be up in their business in a minute, isn't he? So it's a D8 for your rolling pleasure.
so let's pull up some condition tokens. So, as my contact lens slips and my eye goes blurry.
Oh, lovely.
Did not need.
Bardic inspiration for Dargon. And I still not created this slowed token, have
Let's
I?
just go down here. Let's have a look.
Oh man, we're so far away.
Oh, man alive.
Yep.
Yeah.
Some of us have
Should
half
you-
speed as well.
I should use my action just to give myself gills again and webbed fingers.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda, my friend.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda.
At least I couldn't have failed that and they would have made any saves or legendary resistances, but at least we got rid of a legendary resistance, I suppose.
Indeed. It's one less. It's one less.
Swings and roundabouts, mate.
That was my plan all along.
Cool. So anything else on your turn?
No.
You said that with some trepidation.
Well, part of me still wants to go sit on the throne, you know, but I'm not going to get there. Too far away.
5, 10, yeah.
Because I think if I sit down, will I become like Aquaman?
A shark
and then I
dude?
can just tell them what to do.
A shark dude.
Shark boy, and lava girl, and then
Shark boy.
So Bothrid
yeah, I'll stay
is
where I am. I'm within 30 feet of Kirik.
Bothrid's
That's a good
turn.
place to be.
Bothrid is of course
all you need to be.
going to use. Is it a bonus action? Where's it gone? Where's it gone? Where's it gone? Uses action to wild shape.
Into another shark.
Nice, you better do.
What have we got? What have we got?
Don't pick a cuttlefish or something.
Killer
like that.
whale.
A sea urchin. Oh, could you imagine? That'd be awesome.
Cuttlefish. Absolutely
Cuttlefish.
terrifying.
Yeah, okay.
A seal.
He's gonna turn into a hunter shark.
Now we're talking.
Yeah.
I'm down with that.
Shark red.
So, and he's then going to use his bonus action to rage.
Wow. The wild shape is not a bonus action, or is it an action?
No, wild shape is an action, so he can't do any action, but he can now wild shape and rage, and then as part of his rage, he gets the ability to use instinctive pounce, and he can move half his speed, which as a shark is 20 feet of swimming speed. So he's going to go 5, 10, and then he's going to move his full 40 feet. Just go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40 to there. I'll get Bothrid up to there, so that's Bothrid.
Sorry, hang on a minute. Why did he only move
Go.
half his... He moved 10 feet then?
So, instinctive pounce. Did I move 5, 10?
You said 5,
It's down
10.
here. 5, 10. Sorry. Let's just figure this out. He was down here. 5, 10, 15, 20. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25,
What throws you off
30,
is, as well,
35, 40.
the tiles on the floor aren't the squares of the map.
No, but
No, they're
you
two.
they are drawn on, so you should be
Yeah.
able to see them.
Yeah.
They are 4x4. Cool. So that is Bothrid within range, but he's used his actions and bonus actions to wild shape and rage. So let's make sure we
It doesn't have to go that
clarify
far.
this. Of
Should
course,
I
it
give him the
fucking does.
bardic inspiration? Because he's now going to get bitten to shit.
Oh, did you give...
So raging and up to there. But just remember, he's wild-shaped and raging now, which, because of rage, even though he's wild-shaped, means all damage is halved except psychic damage.
True.
So he's an extra airbag of hit points that is twice as big as it usually would be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, who knew I've gone cross-eyed.
Cool.
And hopefully the shark's
then
won't see him as a
giant
friend
shark.
now because he's another shark. He's one of the team.
That's a very good point.
He's gone undercover.
Giant shark A, having seen Bothrid,
Good eye, my name is Bruce.
turn
Hi, Bruce.
5.
And there is a friend, not food.
We are going to have to do this just so I can see the outskirts of their
That's fine, yeah,
what
keep
the
it there,
fuck
that's
they are
fine.
doing. So then we can go
Yeah.
5, 10,
Helps us know when we're allowed to attack him as
15.
well.
20 to there, which is not even half of this creature's movement speed, and it is then going to make a bite attack
As you do.
against Shark Thrid, which is a 26 to hit,
Oh,
Ooh, they are high.
which is going to hit. They've not got particularly good armor class.
what?
26 to hit, so that's going to be
Might just have to cast Reduce on them all. Do you think a shark would have good constitution?
You don't know.
5, 11.
I'm thinking their saving throws would be
They can eat a
strength and
jalapeno
dexterity,
without
right?
ever bothering, them, so I don't know what that means.
Maths.
True.
17.
What?
17.
Well,
23 points of piercing
Fun
damage
fact, they have
reduced.
not evolved to have an issue with capsaicin, so they can eat spicy food.
Oh, wow.
Fun fact.
You learn something new every day.
Yeah.
Right.
That's cool.
Um,
I didn't know that.
It's a shame they don't hunt
23,
chili
we've got
plants.
12 points of damage.
I mean, but if you feed a chili to a shark and then kill it, then it's pre-marinated. I mean, it's pretty cool.
Well, do you know what's nuts is, right? Somebody got a grant
What
to
the
do
fuck
that
are we
research.
talking about?
No,
Somebody
Myth-
paid
what's going on.
for that
no.
research.
Mythbusters did.
Okay.
Okay, Shark B, who's slowed, can only move 25 feet.
Oh, he's definitely
5,
going.
10.
Duh,
15, 20, 25.
Come on, how many shark films can we mention in this combat?
I'm
all
literally
of them.
waiting for all of the shark references tonight. Shark
Oh,
C
well,
there.
Samuel L. Jackson's
turn, I'm definitely gonna
epic
do
phrase.
Run away, do 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 do, run away. That's what I'll be doing on my turn.
You are such a bellend.
It wasn't me. It wasn't me.
Good come for the team.
I wash my hands of this madness.
10,
And under disconnects.
15, 20, 25, 30,
And it just has a heart attack. It's crazy.
35.
Somehow did Darren Brown that into my brain earlier. He'd been planting seeds all afternoon.
Yeah, Inception style.
Shark C is going to
Hey.
move its 50 feet over to there.
Well, you know we're going to check.
Shark
Oh, no, I didn't mean to
D.
do that. How do I do that? Where was I? Fuck. Was I there?
You were right in front of me.
Right
I am
in
going to
front
say
of you.
all
I
of the
was there,
pillars that you can see. So these bits reach from floor to ceiling. So you can't swim
Which
over
is-
them. You will have to go around them.
It's how high, the ceiling?
The ceiling is very high. It's as I said, there was this oculus in the top. So you're probably looking at around maybe 50 feet to the roof.
Here it
Just in
goes.
this chamber anyway. So.
yeah. Boils the water.
D 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 40, 45, 15 to there. And then E. Five. Oh, where were we? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 40, 40, 45, 50 to there. So they don't get too close. And then the maw. Just to make sure. Yeah. Cool. So the maw then is going to turn. In fact, let's do that as well. I'm going to turn to Bothrid. Going to make a bite attack first on Bothrid with one of the heads.
Nom.
That's a 15. I'm not sure that's going to hit. Does hit. Does hit.
Oh, he's got a 14 AC.
12.
12. Nice.
Ooh, is there a reverse water breathing spell where you can just make him not be able to breathe underwater?
Technically, yes. That is 10, 15 points of piercing damage reduced to 8.
You could turn them into a cat and then they drink.
If you cast water on them, would they just fly to the top and then you can't breathe?
I believe they need to be willing creatures. I'll double check.
Oh, okay.
That's actually not.
Okay, but
That's actually not.
sorry, I've just thought of
Probably a
that.
save against it.
Yeah, the start of
Tail smash then.
10 willing creatures.
4, that's going to hit.
What is it? Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, where all the dolphins just bugger off. I just imagine that as just sharks just. It's cast
8
on
points of bludgeoning damage with the tail, reduced to 4. Shark Thrid is, not looking good in shark form.
Oh dear.
Chunks already taken out of it.
That was not a good start.
And then we're over to Dargon.
Okay, I mean, knowing that I'm not going to be able to do shit if I get up to more, I'm going to swim 4. I'll say to Kirik, you look after that one, keep Ander safe. And I'm going to point to Shark D when I say that, and I will head towards Shark C. So I will attempt to do what I was doing before and confirm that I can get to there, which I can, because I've got the Swimming McSwinnerson
Ring of swimming.
ring. So I should be able to get to there with 5 feet more movement, and I shall swipe at it.
Okay, roll to hit then, please, sir.
Okay, the first 2 attacks are a 17 and an 18 on the die, plus 16.
Both are going to hit.
And a 16 plus 16, which is, what is it, 32?
Yeah. All 3 are going to hit.
Sweet. Okay. Bum, 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 bum. For the life of me, can't find the die. There it is. Okay. That is in total 50 points of damage to Shark C.
Nice.
Very nice.
Really should bookmark this page as well. So you don't get disadvantage because you have a swimming speed, but everybody else will with
Good
attacks.
point. That, I think, will be my go.
Okay.
Yeah, gonna hold that for now. Yeah. Oh, Danny, what can I use that inspiration for, just out of interest?
Ability checks,
Damage,
attack rolls, saving
spell
throws,
damage, isn't it?
magical healing, magical attacks.
Okay. If I miss something or fail, can you remind me that I can use it?
Alright.
Cheers.
Okay.
We got 5 temporary hit points from breakfast. Is that right?
You did.
Sorry,
You did.
I've been looking at it for a few minutes going, I don't know whether that should be there. And it should be, but I forgot why. I'm like,
We had a good breakfast.
Okay.
Bloody good breakfast.
The
I've had some of
Maw,
them.
as you finish your turn, then is going to take a legendary action,
Cock.
and you see all 4 eyes on these hammerheads glow this deep blue, and there is this sudden rush of water as a shark-like spirit bursts forth from it, and it shoots through Bothrid, Dargon, and Ander. I need all 3 of you to make dexterity saving throws, please.
What?
Yeah.
Just being underwater give us any disadvantage on that, or are we okay?
This is what I'm just about to double check. So
We've had this question for about 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah,
I know,
but
and
we're
I
still
just
not
need
quite
to
sure.
keep bringing this fucking thing up.
Oh, fucking marvellous.
I think we decided not, but I mean,
No.
I mean, either way, I'm just going to call evasion now. Just put it out there.
Yeah, basically, it's just to do with movement and attacking is all I'm saying here. So
Cool.
movement is at half speed unless you have a swimming speed. Attacking is at disadvantage unless you have a swimming speed. And that should be it for
Ooh.
saves. Yeah, so yeah, cool. So dexterity saving throw in shark form.
I got 17. I don't think that's going to be enough.
Oh, if you don't think
I
that's going to be
forgot
enough.
12. So a 17 is
Bothrid.
enough to save.
I believe
Yes.
Bothrid gets advantage from danger sense. And Wild Shape, he keeps his abilities.
I may regret this, but I'm going to
You can
hold my
see-
indomitable.
Bothrid gets a 17. So what did we roll? A 17, 2 17s, and
12.
a 12.
Not going to re-roll. Going to save that bad boy.
That's fine.
So,
So as this
evasion will be no
spirit-like
damage,
shark
it's sort of
just
successful.
blasts through you, it's going to be 8 points of slashing damage to Dargon for failing, 4 points to Bothrid and Ander, 2 points to Bothrid, nothing to Ander.
It'll be 0 for me because of evasion.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
8, 4, 2, 0. That is absolutely incredible.
So yeah, halved for saving, halved for Bothrid because he's raging, negated for Ander because of evasion.
I was waiting for that. But then you also take...
I was waiting for that as well, I'm not going to lie.
Oh, yeah.
That's cool. And then Kirik.
Seeing my friends are moving in and they're not really sure what's going to happen, Kirik's eyes are going to go completely purple as suddenly the flow of water around him gets steadier, and I raise my hand forward, and there's going to be a line that's going to shoot 100 feet in front of me. And Ander's going to be the first one to notice that suddenly he can breathe normally, as in air, as I cast Control Water, and in the 100-foot cube in front of me, I'm just going to part water.
Moses.
What?
So where I'm kind of just floating in the water, I'm just going to drop a little bit and now I'm on
Strip
the
down.
silt at the bottom. Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
Let's just
I
zoom
need
out
to
of here
work
for
this
a moment.
out.
That also means
And
more.
I need to draw a
He's not in the
cube.
water.
That means all of them
All
are
of
not in
them.
water. It's a cube with 100 feet on its side.
Oh,
You
fuck
know,
me.
I
I
probably
thought you
got
meant just
fucking
underneath the
spell
map.
token for this.
Just put us on a different map that's on land.
Yeah, hang on a
Fucking
minute.
100-foot cube, basically.
Yeah, I mean, that
Yeah, I
is...
texted-
Flopping about. Just flopping about.
I texted Matt at what was it, 2 hours ago? Being like, by the way,
Yeah.
Can
what happens
prove
if I
the
use
whole
this
campaign?
spell in the water?
should have done is planned the
I
actual
was about to
fucking
say, you knew this was
spell
coming.
token.
You specifically said, "I know what you're planning."
Yeah. I was about to say, when Samau asks something like that, prepare. It's not for shits and giggles.
Shit.
Hey.
I mean, technically this is control winds, but
Doesn't matter. Same
there we
thing.
go.
different
That is
day.
control water. That is everything in the room, including Bothrid in shark form that just
Oh,
hits the floor.
just all flopping about now.
Matt, I've got to admit,
so
you
yeah,
missed a
that
trick.
needs to
You should
be-
have said how, do we swim up or do we stay above the water by we could have walked ourselves into everything then.
Not to be a pain, Matt, but that's 95 feet. But I don't think it's gonna matter. But I just checked.
10, 15,
Sorry. Just an extra 5 feet. I am now concentrating on this.
I count 100.
It's.
I'm not bothered.
Yeah. Well. Never mind.
Oh,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
It depends.
9, 10, 11,
When you
12,
put the
13,
Centre to
14,
centre.
15,
thing on
16,
it.
17, 18, 19, 20. So that's 20 squares across.
Times 5.
20 times
Yeah,
5.
it's because
100
the measure's going from the centre square, so it's not taking the 2.5 feet either side of the centre square.
There I go. I see what
Yeah.
you mean. I see what
But
you mean.
that's a good point.
you're both
I don't know
right.
if I can change that. Bear with.
Yeah,
me
that's
just see if I
something
can
to
change
keep
where that
in
measured.
mind, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why it only does from center point. That's really annoying.
Yeah, it's probably just a pinpoint. Maybe in 2.0 they're going to change it.
Well, yeah, but if you think of it,
Hopefully
if
they'll
you do
fix
think
it.
about it, it's only coming up because of this particular thing, and we established that is 100 feet. When we move, our centre moves 40 feet, our back, our front
Yeah,
moves
yeah,
40
yeah.
feet. So it
And most of the time it
works,
doesn't
yeah.
matter. Most of the
Yeah, he's
time it
pissing around
doesn't
with
matter. I think it's
tokens.
No, it's right. I always try and move the map, and then there's fucking so much area
alright,
of effect shit
I've
going
locked
on
it.
with Kirik all the time.
I've locked it. It's
I
fine.
can't
It's all
move the
good.
character without moving everything at the same time.
I am
cool,
concentrating on
so-
that.
Each of these creatures relies on water to breathe, and is therefore now not suffocating but holding their breath.
by the level of their constitution number of minutes thingy, whatever that is.
Which is what I had to go and search the PHB for.
Yeah.
Can a shark hold his breath?
Suffocation.
Isn't it 1 minute plus however many constitution
1 minute
bonuses?
plus your constitution score.
Yeah,
Sorry, your constitution bonus.
so mine's plus 4, so I could hold my breath for 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Wow.
I couldn't even hold my breath for a minute in real life.
Try 20 seconds, especially after a
Excellent.
drink.
Their
I guess
speed
after
is
that-
also reduced to fucking 0. They can't move.
A bonk.
So I essentially just need to go and
they only
tickle
have
them all,
swim
and they'll die.
They only have swim speeds. Nice. I mean, can you give them like a
Um,
2-foot flop speed? Blup, 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 blup.
They're just going to be floundering at this point.
And after that, I'm going to actually step into that space. And
Boom.
10 feet. And
Take a
and then
breath.
15.
Oh, bow and arrows coming out now, boys.
Yeah. And as I get closer to you, and I will say, I think you can use your bow now. And that's going to be my turn.
Oh man, that's such a rubbish turn. Oh my god.
In which case, Ander, over to you.
Feeling invigorated and ready to fuck shit up, I am now going to pull out my bow and aim for the gills of Moor with bonus action steady aim first. So
There will
hopefully
now
I
be a
can-
throne in the way,
Oh, cock and balls. Hang about.
so you might want to move slightly.
Either move or not use your steady aim or fire at someone else. How is Shark C looking?
Not
I know it's only
readied
taken
yet.
me. Okay.
Only taken you. Is that the sort of things we're doing to a shark?
I'll move to there then, and I won't use steady aim. I'll kill it anyway. Hopefully. I'm aiming for the gills
The gills.
with a 28 to hit.
Yep, that'll hit.
Piercing damage of 10. And then sneak attack of a further 11.
Don't forget your bonus.
Just a d4.
And the D4!
D4 hasn't come out in a while.
Extra 3.
Nice.
Been underwater days.
Because we've been underwater for a while.
Yeah. Can everyone also imagine the slow motion of the fact that when he lets go of the boat, there is still like a line of water for like a split second as the you know. Oh,
Because technically my arrows are wet.
I was going to say like proper. You know, if like the slow mo guys were able to follow you, they would have a more awesome shot right there.
Yeah.
Excellent. Anything else in your turn, sir? You've got a bonus action.
I will bonus action unsettling words on D, and the unsettling words will be, I'm going to finger your gills and you're going to die.
Somebody's been watching too much of The Boys.
That's pretty unsettling, right?
I was thinking you were going to say so. Oh no, actually I wasn't going to say it.
So unsettling words on which one, sorry?
D.
D.
I thought you were
That's
going to
not bad.
sing a particular song in for your unsettling
I
words.
thought that too.
I will
It's
literally
I might
say
give
that
this
the
a
shark
shot.
advantage on every
The
attack.
shark
for
is
that.
now trying to like get away because of unsettling words, but can't.
So, Bothrid currently is in shark form.
Hopefully he will have.
He's not going to drop it, even though he's sort of
Great.
holding his breath in shark form right now, because the blood that now is sort of spattered around gives him a blood frenzy, which means he gets advantage on melee attack rolls. So he is going to attempt to bite the maw, which is going to be an 11 or...
Cool.
so 11
Is that a shark
plus
thing or a
6,
Bothrid thing?
17. That's a shark thing. 17
Good,
to hit.
good thing we're not getting attacked by these things and getting grouped, otherwise. Jesus Christ.
17
that
is
mean-
going to hit the
Does that mean
maw.
Shark C's got that against me because it's its own blood around it?
So
Or is it only if
find
the
out.
creature gets bloodied?
you will see what I mean in a minute. So that's 1. Great rolls. They were shit. That's 3 on the dice for a total of 7 piercing damage to the maw from Shark Thrid. Where's the maw? There we go. 7 piercing damage. Okay, it is then Shark A's go, who is holding its breath and is just going to gets advantage against Bothrid because Bothrid does not have, well, Shark Thrid does not have all of its hit points. That jumped out. Try that again. So that's a 16 plus stuff. That's a 25 or a natural 1. So we'll take the 25. I'm going to make this quicker on myself and just click that. For a total of 13 points of piercing damage against Shark Thrid. Reduced down to 7. How did that not work?
I wonder if you lose concentration or drop the spell, do we all get bludgeoning damage from 100 foot of water?
It does say that I think
It
the spell
slowly
says
closes
that
or slowly
it
collapses.
slowly
Yeah.
closes.
I was about to say that would just destroy
But
us
yeah, it
all.
would be cool. There's just like 2 walls of water just.
Okay,
It'd
Shark
It'd be like
B
being getting
then
hit by
can
2
do
trains or 4
sweet
trains.
fuck all. So I'm going to see... I'm going to do a bit of a... Because Shark's not used to this, and I'm going to see if there's any panic involved. So they're going to be a wisdom saving throw.
Don't panic, Mr. Redding, don't panic.
That's fine. Shark B is not panicking as of yet. It's just holding its breath, but cannot do fuck all else because it cannot move. It is slowed. Yeah. Fucked. Shark C. Dargon's not taken any damage yet, has he? Oh,
Yes.
yes. 3 points of damage. In which case, advantage. That's a natural 1. Or an unnatural 20.
Meets my armor class.
Meet your armor class. So you are going to take 22 points of piercing damage. That was a much better roll that
Bitey
time.
McBiteface.
Wow.
Damn.
God damn.
Shark D is going to attack Ander. Because no, it
Mountain
can't.
bro.
Sorry, reading the wrong creature. Reading the wrong creature. Ignore me. Can't do anything. So that is going to make a wisdom saving throw. Unsettling words grants a disadvantage on
1d8.
saving throws, right?
No, it's 1d8 from
1d8.
the saving throw.
So that will be
Saving throw or attack?
16 minus 5, 11.
Saving throw.
Shark D is going to panic and is going to lose half of its remaining breath.
Nice. Oh. Sorry, that's an amazing... Yeah.
Wait it out.
How long can you hold concentration?
10 minutes.
Okay.
100
Shark.
rounds.
Shark E can't do anything, so that's going to make a wisdom saving throw. Succeeds. Unsettling words is now gone, isn't it?
Yeah, it's only a one-time delay.
So then the more
Oh boy,
is
this is the problem.
going to, with its blood frenzy, of course, is going to make a bite attack and a tail smash attack on Shark Thrid at advantage. So the first one is an 18 or... Oh yeah, that will be an 18 to hit, which will hit Bothrid, Shark Thrid, because it's in shark form. So that's going to be 14 points of piercing damage, reduced to 7. And then the tail smash is going to be 17 or 15. So 17 to hit, which will then be an additional 10, reduced to 5. 5 points of bludgeoning damage to Shark Thrid, which means Shark Thrid is gone and Bothrid remains. So we'll put Bothrid there. But technically, Bothrid has all of his hit points because nothing rolled over.
Oh,
The shark.
perfect.
Shark
Nice.
Thrid had exactly 5 hit points left, so Bothrid just reforms and just sort of is stood there in full health. It is then Dargon's go.
I wasn't expecting this, but cool.
I am basically, because they are sharks and they can't move, based on this now, technically they would be prone,
Oh,
Cool.
if you think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
Awesome.
going to rule it.
good point.
It's awesome.
I'm glad
Don't
you said that
disagree.
after I did a bow and arrow shot.
So I've just only really thought about it, so don't worry about it. I'm having to do this on the fly.
Right.
That's
Advantage.
not the one I wanted to change.
I shall roll. 34 to hit. Natural
yeah,
20.
Wee-hee.
And 32 to hit.
So all 3 of those are going to hit. If it's above a 13, it will hit.
I can't roll that low. 60 points of damage to Shark C.
60 points. Shark C, don't look good. I'm going to say you near enough chop a huge chunk out of Shark C. So there's just pooling blood on the floor now. And Shark C is most certainly bloodied.
Okay,
like more than bloodied.
Looking at it then,
Like,
I'll get the right cursor. I'm going to move 5-10 feet away from it.
okay.
Does it try and attack?
It will.
Cool.
That is going to be quite a bit to hit. That is a 26 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
You're going to take 19 points of piercing damage. Gets advantage on it as well. Let's just double check. Yep, no, that's fine.
Yeah, sorry, how much damage?
19 points of piercing damage.
19. Okay. Yeah.
19.
Yeah. As I do that, I will... Why is that not updating? I will use my bonus action, quick toss, and I shall, as it bites me, I roll a sort of, spin away, and I will fling back a dagger straight at Shark C. So this will be a maneuver with a superiority die, and it will be
Loves a quick toss does our dog on.
It will be an advantage because I'm close. So
it's prone, and that's a ranged attack, isn't it?
yes, actually, true. So disadvantage.
Disadvantage.
Disadvantage. Okay. It is a unnatural 20 to hit.
I'll
Dirty.
hit.
So with one of them and one of them, 16 points of piercing damage.
Which is exactly the number you need. So I'm going to say, as you sort of throw this, the shark's still got its mouth open, and your hand axe just strikes into the top of
Dagger.
the mouth as this shark just flumps over to the side. The mouth is still open. You can still see your hand axe inside, but it is dead. So
That'll be my dagger. I do not have a hand axe anymore.
dagger. Sorry, yeah, that's fine.
And I'll turn to Kieran and be like, "Well, now what?"
Get the others.
Just so you know where your dagger is, we'll say that one's dead. Anything else on your turn?
Bonus action, bit of movement. 5, 10.
You got more movement if you wish.
Yeah.
You've only moved
5,
15.
10.
In fact, you moved 10 feet.
15, 20, 25, 30. Yeah.
Stick. Stick.
That'll be my go.
Excellent. Over to the Maw again with a legendary action. And again, this spirit, watery spirit, is just going to burst out, and everyone needs to make dexterity saving throws now. Bothrid at advantage.
I should have stayed away.
17 or a natural 1.
I will use a lucky point.
So Bothrid gets
That's better.
19.
Bugger.
22.
Bugger. 6.
14.
Anybody that rolled a 16 or below a 16, sorry, is going to take 11 points of slashing damage. So basically, then that'll be halved. So 6 for saving and 3 therefore for Bothrid, because he's still raging.
Concentration check for Keurig.
Oh God.
Indeed.
17.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'll be 0 damage because I am the evasion master.
Evasion. There we go. Now it's over to Kieran.
Freaking it.
Yeah, feeling that and knowing that I have to keep concentration on the spell, I'm going to turn to Dargon and I'm going to say, well, didn't like that, so I'm just going to move back. And 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. I'll just move back into the water.
So,
Yeah, I full on go Homer and just like disappear into the water again.
steps beyond. You're just now seeing this play through some sort of watery screen. It's like looking into an aquarium, but reverse.
Yeah, that was my action, and that's my... No, that was not my action, that was my movement. What am I talking about?
I was going to say that was your movement. If you want to
yeah.
take that as your action, I'm not going to complain.
Nah, I'm good. I am gonna... 60 feet is way too... Yeah. I am going to... look towards Shark D, and I'm going to cast Toll the Dead on it. Just wisdom saving throw, please.
13.
It fails, as it already taken damage.
Nope. D had not taken damage.
E8s then. Oof. 14 points of necrotic damage. Please.
14 points of necrotic damage.
And that will be my turn.
That will be your turn. With them back round the top two. Ander, what would you like to do, sir?
I am going to... Now I can. I'm not actually going to finger its skills, am I? That was just to freak it out. So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to run up to it and I'm going to stab it with the blade in its gills.
Okay, you will get advantage on that attack.
Yeah, boy.
Very true.
Which means you can add sneak attack to it.
I know. It's great, isn't it? Come on. Ooh, 16 to hit. Luckily, it's got shit AC.
16 will hit D, yeah.
With 10 piercing damage and then the sneak attack. Oh, come on, be 4 6s. Oh, there's 2 1s in there, brilliant. 11.
11 points of damage. Not quite bloodied, but... Phenylan! Not in my house!
Oh, no!
Anything else on your turn?
I will then bonus action disengage just over there. So it can have back to me.
Then Bothrid's go. Bothrid's got a choice to make, really. Yeah, Bothrid's just going to heft the woodcutter's axe. Look down at this more. And 2 attacks with advantage. Doesn't even need to reckless this bastard. So that is unnatural 20 or a 21. So we'll take the 21. And that will be... I need a D12. 3 Fantastic. That's going to be 8 points of slashing damage to the maw with the first attack. And he's going to do that all over again. That is 26 or an 18, so I'll take 26. Come on, give me some better. Oh, fuck me. That's a 1 on the damage dice, which is going to be a total of 6 points of damage. Not even near 6 points of slashing damage. All of that potential wasted. Bonus actions, bonus actions. Bothrid will use his... Bothrid's going to use his Fey gift.
Nice.
And he's going to use... let's just make sure... the help action. Is there a range on that? No, it doesn't say anything. So he's going to use his Fey action of Spite. And he's going to give that to... So Fey gift. And we can get there. Let's find it again. Fey gift, that one, of Spite. So until the start of his next turn, Dargon.
Yes.
The next time you hit a creature with an attack, the target of that attack has disadvantage on any attack rolls it makes, or the next attack roll it makes within the next minute.
Good, I already had my target.
Difference. Not that it makes a difference. That will be Bothrid's go. It is then Giant Shark A, who is still within range of Bothrid and is going to attempt to bite, but at disadvantage. Blood Frenzy doesn't count anymore, so at disadvantage. Don't think I'm going to get much worse than that. Yes, I can. Rolling a lot of natural ones tonight.
Oh no!
I think I might need to put that one away.
It's for balance of last session.
I was about to say, yeah, you rolled far too many last session.
The amount of other. Let's take that one, shall we? Cool. So that will be Shark A's go. It's going to miss. Going to make a Wisdom saving throw. Loses half of its remaining air. So we're going to round down for this. And it'll be 10 rounds for a minute, wasn't it? So no, we won't. I'll say that's still there. Cool. B then. B is going to make another Wisdom saving throw. That is a 7. Loses all of its remaining air and is now suffocating. As it panics.
Always.
And is then going to roll for slow. And fails on the slow as well. So still slowed. Shark C's dead. D. Can't do fuck all. So, panic save. Fails. What's its remaining air left? Not yet. Yes,
Oh, yeah,
sorry. No, sorry,
Balance
B's
save.
down to half of it. D is suffocating, not B.
Yeah. So...
I'm also concentrating on slow, but has B made his saving throw on his turn yet?
No.
And...
I forgot you were concentrating.
That's alright, it hasn't taken damage yet. So nothing has actually changed, which is
It's
good.
not.
Because I'm a bad bitch.
E. Can't do anything. Also, half air. All of these sharks are beginning to panic. Okay, the Moor then, who's got something more about it, is going to attempt to bite Bothrid. And you know what, we'll give this D20 one last moment. Yeah, that'll probably do. That is actually, I don't think that's going to hit. Or will it? Yes, it will. It's 21 to hit, which against Bothrid will hit. So Bothrid's going to take... Shit, that jumped out. 10, 15 points of piercing damage, reduced down to 8. So that's all of Bothrid's temporary hit points finally gone. And he's now slightly injured, which means the tail attack will be at advantage, and therefore a singular roll. That's going to miss. So 16 to hit. In fact, I got that first one wrong. Yeah, that would have hit anyway. Cool. So the tail attack does not hit. Dargon.
Realising that being away from these sharks, still getting hurt badly, I'm going to run now 30 feet. So I shall just squeeze up. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Can I make that diagonal to 30? Or
Yeah, I'll say you can just about stand on the edge of the plinth there. Yeah.
and I shall
5
take...
foot square, so of course you can fit with it.
Yeah, just double checking. So, I have advantage because this is a close melee attack. And whatever Bothrid was going to do is an effect to them, not me. Is that right?
Yes.
Sweet. I will... wonder if that'll be useful. Nah, fuck it. Okay, advantage on these. So...
Advantage, yeah.
Well, okay. 19 to hit. That's a bad roll.
That is a bad roll.
Very bad roll.
Still hits.
That is 30 to hit. And 30 to hit. I shall use, on the last one, a precision strike. Which I can say after I've hit, or know I've hit. So...
okay.
I shall now roll all 3.
Does that give you more damage?
Yeah, actually adds a D10 to it.
Nice.
So I do swipe, and then I look, pause, and then just like go straight for the gills.
Gulls.
Yeah. 52 points of slashing damage to the Maw.
52 points of slashing damage to the Maw, which is enough to bloody the bastard.
Okay,
Yes.
I'm going to use...
All the other sharks go in a frenzy and attack it. That'd be awesome.
Got Bardic Inspiration. Can I
Armor
use
damage?
that?
You can't. No.
No, but you said
Only
I could use
spell
that to
damage.
healing?
Spell
Use it to
healing.
healing, yeah.
Yeah.
Would that work on my healing light? Just like roll a d4? So I could roll a d4 and a d8? Is that right? Not d4, d6, sorry. I'm happy.
Not technically a spell.
That's fine.
It's a magical effect.
Absolutely fine. I will use my second wind and I will regain some hit points. Happy to have that ruled. So that will be my bonus action. Nice. That is 21 points back. Beautiful.
Nice.
So yeah, that is my bonus action. Yeah, all my movement. So I am. I'm good on that one.
Okay, Kirik, as you spectate through now in this reverse aquarium feel, you can see the sharks on the ground, those that have begun to panic and are losing air, just sort of the gills just... Carry on.
Yeah, I will. I will move 5 feet there, but it costs me 10. 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. I can't really go, so I'll just go 40 there. And I will cast Told Edge on Shark D again.
Okay.
He gon' die.
Well, that's technically cocked. A natural 1. Double the damage. You, sir, are going away.
It is not your day.
That rolled pretty well as well.
You didn't press the button.
26, 31, 62 points of necrotic damage.
Oh,
Somehow,
Not bad for a cantrip, is it?
somehow, this shark is still alive.
What's the
I get the killing blow, hopefully.
I was going to say,
Oh,
what
way up.
was that? Oh my god, I can't remember what it was. It was used in CR1. That disintegrate. Disintegrate? Is that it?
Mm-hmm. You mean the spell that Lilith used a couple of weeks ago, where she just...
Yeah, that was it. That was it. I was just trying to remember what it was. I was like, that's nearly what happened with a cantrip.
Yeah, pretty good. And that'll be me.
Again, such a rubbish round.
Will be you.
Ugh.
D is now bloodied. Okay. Ander.
Sensing I might actually get the victory of a killing blow, I'm going to run up to this guy and stab him right in the fucking head.
Nice.
Advantage, come on, make it. Let me get a natural 20, please. Fuck me, a 27. 18 to hit.
That was honestly that was the same face you pulled many months ago when you were trying to kill the
Yeah.
10 piercing damage.
I was waiting for the 20.
Shit, fuck. And then
You want to
sneak
do that?
attack,
Do
I've
you
got
want to do that
another
damage again?
Why?
Because I've used the hunting bow damage there rather than the moonblade damage.
So the sneak attack damage counts. I've rolled 11 on sneak attack every time. 10, same amount.
Same amount.
21
Awesome.
points of
That worked
damage
well.
all together. But I will then
Quite enough to kill it.
bonus action disengage, realising I've not killed it. Might see ya.
Wouldn't want to be you.
And as you run away, the blade is going to say, "No, stand there! Stab the bastard! He will not defile our house." And if that's your go, then, sir.
Aye.
And then over to Bothrid. Bothrid sensing the end is nigh. Again, not reckless, just swinging away, and is going to wield the woodcutter's axe again. Come on. At advantage. First one, a 12. Rolled a 2 on the dice. Second one, a 13. Don't think either of those are going to hit with the first one. Oh no, it does. Both of those would have hit. So let's roll for the second attack as well. At advantage. That's a 13 again. There we go, or a 25. So both will hit. Let's do 2d12s then. So that's 3. 13. 23 points of slashing damage to the maw with the woodcutter's axe. And then Bothrid will not do. Oh, interesting. Yep. Yeah, okay, so... How are you looking? No, you're right. Fuck it, he's not going to do that this time. In which case we are then over to Shark A, who is just within range of Bothrid. Will be a disadvantage attack, but because of Blood Frenzy now, will be a straight attack. So that's going to be an unnatural 20 to hit, which is going to hit Bothrid.
Ooh.
That will be 33 points of piercing damage to Bothrid, which is going to be reduced down to 17 points of damage because Bothrid is raging. And because it's hit with attack, it's not panicking, it's holding its breath for whatever it's got remaining. Go for it.
Yeah, I mean, I was either going to protect him, but fuck it, I'm just going to stab him with Sentinel attack.
Stab who?
The Maw, sorry.
It's not the Maw that's attacked.
Oh, it wasn't.
It's not the Maw that's attacked.
Oh,
it's Giant Shark A.
Shark A.
Ah, sorry. Ignore me. Can't do that. I can't even do my attempt
B.
to help him then.
Shark B is going to make a wisdom saving throw and succeeds, so it keeps the little air that it's got left. Shark C is dead. Shark D, wisdom saving throw. Succeeds. Let's do the slow save as well. No, that's not enough. And then Shark E fails. Shark E is now suffocating. Okay. After Shark E, the Maw is going to take... What is it going to do here? Right, okay. Okay, it's going to attempt to bite Dargon first with a straight attack because of Blood Frenzy, but disadvantage. That's a 16 on the dice, which is going to therefore be a 24 to hit.
Yep.
You are going to take 9 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
And the tail's going to whip round and try and hit Bothrid for a natural 1. Hit that button.
Oh, that should mean that actually I should be able to attack them more now. Even if he tried to attack...
Yeah, tried to attack Dargon. Bothrid, sorry, not Dargon.
Yeah, so when a creature within 5 feet of you makes an attack.
Go for it.
Sweet. That will be... yeah, 34 to hit. And that is...
Yep.
Oh my god, crap. 13 points of slashing damage.
13 points of slashing damage. It rounds some numbers out for me, which is great. But yeah, you do manage to just sort of another slash into the maw. It's not looking good. Anything else on your turn?
Oh, it's not my turn, sorry, that was a reaction.
It's now your turn.
Oh, is it? Nice.
Yes.
Okay. I will attack the maw once. $30 to hit.
Yes.
16 points of slashing damage.
16 points of slashing damage, still up.
Again. 22 to hit.
Will hit.
17 points of slashing damage.
17 points of slashing damage, still up.
And a natural 20.
There we go.
Yeah.
So that is... Oh god, why can't I do that math? 23 points of slashing damage.
How do you want to do this?
Yes.
I shall swipe at it, you know, sort of right and then left, and then I'll just bring the sword round and then just stab it through the gills, and it just comes out the other side. Little
Nice.
tip
So
of the sword.
you go through both heads.
Yeah.
Or sort of the first one, it goes through the first one, then into the second one. You withdraw this sort of dark red, purplish blood just splatters everywhere as the maw is then gone.
Okay. That was
2 down.
that was all three. Yeah, that was all 3 attacks. So didn't use my bonus action
Bonus
though, but
actions.
I can't. Well, no, as in I can't throw my dagger again. I haven't picked it up yet.
Oh, it's still in Shark Sea, which is the only reason Shark Sea is still on the board.
Yeah. I've used my second wind, so I will. I'm going to stay there.
Okay. Kirik.
Just gonna double check something. Okay, I'm going to move
Always
5,
gone.
10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. And I've got 40 feet
yeah,
of
sorry,
movement.
Dragon Bracers, yeah.
Yes. And I will use the action on my turn. Now that Moore is dead, I will use the action of my turn to reduce the area of the trench to be this side here. Basically make a 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 40, 45, like a 45 feet wide corridor. Essentially, we're starting here.
So there.
Oh yeah, hang on. It needs to be a cube, doesn't it? Then
It
never
does
mind.
need to
I'll
be a
keep it the
cube.
same way. I'll keep it the same way then.
Fucking arsehole.
And
Control Z,
guess
Control
they're
Z.
It's a good thing
I
that
tried to
actually
make it so
works
that-
on Owlbear Radio, isn't it?
Hey.
I tried to make it so that they didn't all have to suffocate, but apparently I can't. So I will just attack Sharpie with Toll of the Dead.
Okay. Shark B.
D.
D. Okay.
D for dead.
That is a 16 save on the wisdom.
Fails.
Is it more than 8?
Yes, it's 8 on one dice.
Okay.
Saved in the math.
Shark D is gone.
Yeah.
Carry the 4.
After I do that, I will say we can pull back, and they're not going to hurt us. So that's it. That's my turn.
Okay, Todd. Oh, chat's on fire tonight. Cool. Excellent. Then over to Ander.
Does it look like Dargon and Bothrid heard and or cared about the whole pullback comment?
Well, Bothrid's raging,
So that's a no.
so Bothrid's just going to keep swinging until everything that is attacking him or is around him that needs to die is dead.
How far away is that? Can I actually get to him?
In fact, you know, for that, I'll make an intelligence saving throw for Bothrid.
I mean, I am standing
45.
next to him. I will just point that.
You can get to the throne, Ander.
It's a 14. So I'll say Bothrid's got a good chance of dealing with that.
Is that going to steal my moment though? In my head, when I sit on it, there's something magical's going to happen, and if there's any sharks about, is that still going to happen?
Fun.
Yeah, because what I'll do with my Ioun Stone is I think if I sit on the throne, I'm going to become King of Atlantis, right? So what I'll do, I will go. Oh no, I don't want to steal that moment. I feel like Matt's got something planned for that. I don't want
You
to
do
ruin
what
the
you
silly
want to do. Don't
antic.
you worry about my plans, mate. I will fucking
So
do
I
what I
will-
need to keep this game going.
Walk up to the throne, sit on it, like, because it is mine. I know it's mine. This is the one I've been waiting for. And then as I sit, I'll assume I can now command the sharks to do what I want.
As you walk up to the throne, there is a almost like a thrumming effect on your leg where your bag is.
What's in my bag? There's so much shit in my bag. Alright, my bag of holding. Let's figure this out.
Is that your bag, or are you just happy to see the throne?
Whee.
Maybe I just haven't turned off my sexual devices. I do have another Ioun stone. Could it be that?
Ignore me. Because actually, this item is gone.
You did that on purpose. You did that on purpose.
So, there is no thrumming against your leg. However, that pulse as you get closer and closer to the throne continues and almost like beats inside you faster and faster and faster until you do place your arse down on a surprisingly dry throne, considering control water has taken all of the moisture and water in the area and just moved it out. And you sit down. As you sit down, there is a jolt of energy that surges through your body. And the very ground begins to tremble and shake. And there is a feeling of this city beginning to slowly but surely rise from the depths.
Oh.
Oh, yeah! You've done an Atlantis moment!
And there is just this... You can see above you, as you look now up at the Oculus, even through this cube of water, the surface of the lake coming closer and closer, and then the keep itself blasts through the top of the water. All the water around the cube just flows away. There are still 3 sharks in the room, but at this minute, as the ground has begun to shake, all of their concentration on holding their breath is gone. And in the few minutes that it takes to... a few of these sharks do expire. So he's definitely already gone. He's gonna have
This is
gone.
bad, though. This
Yeah.
is real bad.
This didn't go well.
What?
No!
This is real bad.
They fucking know!
Yeah.
We were
We have
like-
a big fucking
like
target
the-
right now.
Biggest fucking beacon.
Nah, I'm just going to come out of the water like, hey!
Yeah, and every single mother trucking demon and undead just went, huh?
I'm essentially arriving like Aladdin does. It's like, Prince Ali, Ali. That's how I'm arriving out of the water.
You know what happened to Aladdin after that, don't you?
Yeah, he got the girl. He got what he wanted.
Tends to
Eventually.
be going by the
think-
Disney
I
story.
was about to
on
say,
that.
I think you're skipping a little bit.
It's giving me about 45 minutes of
paraphrased.
film. That's okay.
Oh man.
Hey,
Oh boy.
so
boy.
I need to have a look at a few things.
Dargon's
The
happy,
sauce was
Dave's
under-
very nervous.
Yeah.
If the source was underneath us, we've left it behind.
Maybe. The very rock that this city was founded on, the whole thing has risen up. You are currently inside the keep. there is, and a whisper in your mind. Well, fuck me, you are a king.
Did you ever doubt it?
Well, you claimed me, but bloodlines are naturally thinning. Your Majesty, I am yours.
Why can't I get anybody else to call me that? You are the only one. If only you could. Can we convince the others now? Can we? But yes.
You are missing one vital component, my lord.
What's that?
Crown.
Well, why do you know where it is?
Perhaps I can help.
I knew me and you would get along and we'd be best friends. It's not back under the wall, is it?
I'm not sure where it's gone. It's not where it was. And there is a spiral of magical energy that just surges from the Moonblade itself and wraps itself around you and continues to just... The light becomes almost blinding and then straight through the oculus. This blue beacon of light shines out. And as the light slowly recedes back to you, floating on top is a silver crown. Slowly but surely just settles itself on your head, juts up against the circlet, and it's just sort of balanced on your head. And for the first time, everybody in the party hears the voice of the blade. The King of Esamere returns to the throne. Long live the king!
Well, fuck me.
Bothrid, at this point, his rage is totally gone. He's just going to turn and go, oh, shit. Literally falls down to the floor, sort of like prostrate.
I'll be honest, gentlemen, I'm not quite sure what to do now, other than my loyal subjects.
Just gonna put it out there, buddy. Have we just been the biggest beacon in the fucking world?
Right, let's try not to take the moment away from me.
I mean, I don't want to crush
like
your balls, you know, but you know what I mean.
We have just announced my coronation to the world. Yes.
Yeah.
But it was a coronation befitting of the man, I would say.
Yeah, sure. I mean, congrats, mate. Weren't we looking for a source?
Make me a perception check, please. Kirik, just make me a perception check while this is going on. I'm also going to say all of the sharks have expired now at this point. Natural 20.
A natural 20 for a 25, yeah.
Boom.
I will go get my dagger. Just, you know.
Yeah, we'll say this all goes on in this minute.
Yeah.
Somehow, have your phone ready, buddy.
Oh boy.
Dargon, you may continue saying whatever you were saying.
Yeah. Guys, weren't we looking for a source? So, there was one here, wasn't there? Or, no?
That's a good point.
And do we need to, like, check if just the temples come up or the whole place? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, hang on. Let me just confer with the voice you just heard. That is the dagger. Let me just see if he knows what's happening.
Regal motherfucker, isn't he? Jeez.
You should hear him when he's shouting for Nylin,
Yeah,
which he's currently doing. For Nyling, Your Majesty, over and over and over again. So I'll just interrupt him and I'll ask him: is the source the crown or the throne, or does it still need to be found? Does he know?
The source? Oh, yes, I suppose that would make sense. The previous king built this place using said source, with some help. There was a temple somewhere in the city. I suggest you head there.
Okay.
Saw a temple when we were coming in to the south.
Yeah, so I'll relay all that back to you. If it's in the temple, I'm hoping that the whole of Esamere has risen, so then we can actually be quick about it and move across the land. I felt like the whole place lifted.
Okay, you know what? I'm going to go check. And I'm just going to run to the door, open the door, and see what the hell. Has it all risen, or just us?
And there's an army of devils outside.
There was no door as such.
Aha!
But as you run outside and you stand now atop this grand staircase that leads up into the keep, you look around and you see the lake around you, but you are on the surface, and you can see the walls of the city around, and where they are broken, the lake beyond it, and the sky, that's crisp, clean air of Nylin. And the whole city seems to have risen. From your position, you can only really see the southern segment. From where the keep is in south, you can't see what's up to the north.
Dagon, you're going to feel like a bump on your shoulder as Kirik is like coming down the stairs, and he doesn't seem to notice you. And he's just like looking out towards the southern end.
Kirik, as you step out onto this staircase now, without the limitations of seeing through water, but having clear daylight showing you where you are going. As you look to the southwest, you see a temple with a grand statue out front. And a statue which you instantly recognise. And it is the most perfect depiction you have come across. It is rare to find a temple in such reverence to your goddess. But there she stands in marble glory, the Raven Queen.
I just start moving towards it without saying anything, just sort of in a daze.
And I'll ask seeing what Kirik is seeing, I'll ask Shank as well. Did Geth worship the Raven Queen? Was that the old god of his?
Gareth had a healthy respect for all of the deities, but she was different. He understood, and if fucking OneNote would work, I'll be able to bring up my notes on this. Bear with me just a second. Yeah, all fun and games. This is when my PC decides to have a fucking moment, isn't it? So the blade continues Gareth had a special place for her. It was, said they had an agreement.
What kind of agreement?
He believed she had or represented the balance in the universe. Unlike all the other deities who were lords and ladies and patrons of their own arena, the arena of death had a finality to it for him. And he promised her this temple would remain. Always. A beacon to her power.
Well, it looks like I'll feel obliged, I'll have to continue that promise. As I am somewhat
Fitting,
connected to
I
her
think.
via my friend here. Yeah.
Indeed. I will say at this moment, as Kirik continues his steady walk, Dargon, you watch, Bothrid is stood and is stood something at the right hand of the throne right now. Almost a guard to his friend. The sunlight slowly but surely begins to darken. Dark clouds begin to reform over the area where whatever magic had raised this place and collected said crown blasted a hole through that murkiness, that shadow. And slowly but surely begins to reform over the city. And I think that is a perfect place for us to take a very short break. Hello!
Hello.
Hello.
Apologies for the slight break in the stream there. There was a bizarre technical snafu that just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, I was just looking over at my phone and was like, why is that just, buffering? And then it stopped. No idea why.
God, these things happening. Cool. So, now that we've all had a moment to adjust to the latest news, shall we say, let's continue. Ander, what are you doing in this moment?
After being told and promising to continue the promise of Gareth, I will catch up to Kirik to tell him the connection between Gareth and the Raven Queen, promise he made, and then reassure him that I will keep the same promise for him and for Kirik. For Gareth and for Kirik.
So we're going to play this out. You run up to where Kirik is sort of almost mindlessly just walking forward. Go for it.
I'll tap him on the shoulder and try and turn him around.
Yeah.
Look, I know you're heading to the temple and it's important, but I just needed you to know. King Gareth had a special affinity towards the Raven Queen. I think, although he respected all of the deities, he leant towards her. He saw her as the balance, and he seemed to share some of the views that you have expressed to me when you've talked, when I've allowed you to talk about it briefly. But the reason the temple is so imminent and I suppose the really, really beautiful is because he made a promise to the Raven Queen that he would always keep a temple for her here. And I just wanted you to know that I intend to honour that promise for her, for him, and for you.
Thanks, Sander. That means a lot.
This is probably the only one left, so we need to protect it.
Look how beautiful it is, though.
And the sword also thinks, Shank also thinks that's where the source will be, because Geth used the source to create this place, and he thinks that's where he would put it.
Alright then.
So we need to try and free the source without the usual destruction in which we do that, because we don't want to destroy the temple by destroying the source.
I will keep myself in check then. No, just keep walking.
I will say as the three of you approach, Bothrid does come scurrying along behind you eventually. Sorry, I thought we were staying in the throne room.
I was going to say that. I was going to go and collect Bothrid. And when I do, seeing them walk off, I'll be like, okay, now, Bothrid, seeing what he was doing, I'd like to task you with looking after Ander. And we have just made one hell of an entrance, and I believe that everyone is coming this way. So we are going to have to get through this quickly. But yeah, keep an eye on him. Do as you always do. We've got to get moving. And if these guys dawdle, I'm going to be a bit snappy. But you'll understand. Let's go.
I always look after them.
I know you do.
And my family.
You're all my family. Our family.
That was a good little chat between the Master of Arms and the leader of the King's Guard. You don't know that yet. That's a good audition for the job, if I ever did hear one.
I'm going to ask as you're walking everybody to make me perception checks, please.
True that.
Come on,
16.
Yes.
16?
20.
19.
27.
Valna. Hello!
Hello.
Hello. It's been a while.
Back!
Been a while.
It has been a while.
I was just typing it's been a while.
I thought I'd sing it.
There we go. Cool. So, sorry, those perception checks. Dargon,
19.
19. Kirik,
16.
a distracted 16. And a 27.
27.
Probably fitting, Ander, that you pick up on this. Kirik is unnaturally distracted by the beauty of this temple to the matron, unlike anything he's seen before. You take a moment to look around your city, your kingdom, your throne, the seat of your power. And where the walls still stand, where they've not crumbled and eroded away, you notice that they are not just plain walls. There are almost huge, great runes etched into the walls. And they stretch and sort of are lined along all of these walls that are complete. And then there's breaks. You also notice that as you approach the Temple to the Raven Queen, there's 3 distinct buildings to your left, to the southeast of the city, if you like, that don't match the architecture around the rest of the city in terms of the houses that once stood and have begun to sort of fall away, the shops, the taverns. There are 3 very distinct buildings, almost in a triangular arrangement. Notepad. One of which appears very floral, is the term I'm going to use. It almost has the shape and structure of a tree, or some sort of large plant as such. You can see it's made not of plant but of wood, not of sort of leaves and stuff. Then there is one that is slightly more malevolent looking. Very angular, sharp ridges and sharp towers off its in this sort of black stone and black metal, and a third which is made of white marble, and where it once existed there was gold parapets, if you like, almost, where that gold has begun to flake away. You would recognise the language on one of these buildings, as it's sort of again etched into the outside of this building, and it's Sylvan.
Is that the floral one by any chance?
Yeah, it is. It's the one that's made out of wood and is very, very vine-like.
I'm thinking these are the buildings of the three brother kings, sons. Makes sense?
It's a fair assumption. The Sylvan reads Embassy of the Fae, roughly translated.
And then if I cast Comprehend Languages, is there any writing on the other two? Let me just check it's written language as well. Oh, yeah, I do understand written languages, yeah. I have to touch it to read it.
You see...
Almost like a braille.
You have to touch it, do you?
For it to be written, I have to touch the surface of it, apparently. It says in the spell description.
Okay, it's going to be difficult on these two buildings, as these are high up above the doors.
Okay. Well, it says I have to touch the surface on which it's written.
On which it's written, in which case I'm going to play with that rule a little bit and say you sort of just run your hand along the sides of these buildings and the text almost begins to shift in your mind. On the white marbled building, it's sort of shifts, and it's difficult to understand even with the spell, but it's something like Celestial Embassy or something like that.
Okay. That's the marble one, is it?
And that's the marble one, and then on the one made of that black angular stone and metal, it is, or it reads, Embassy to the Hells.
Tearing that one down. Embassy to the Hells. Okay. Do I recognise what the runes say?
On the outside,
Yeah.
walls. I'm going to say, this is not going to be easy, I'm going to ask you to make me an intelligence check, please. If you've got Arcana proficiency, I'll allow that.
Yes, please.
I'll allow an Arcana check.
Come on. Go on, 2 over, get in. 24.
With Comprehend Languages on, again, we're going to play around with this a little bit. I'm not going to make you run up to the wall just for the sake of it, but... And that sort of knowledge surging through your brain, you can't read the runes, but you recognise them as some form of draconic? Ancient language. Because the 24 is pretty fucking high. But from what you can understand of them, again, you can't get the specifics, but there's some form of protective capability laid into the very walls of this city.
I'm assuming that is not active currently, though, given there's breaks in the wall and stuff.
Difficult for you to tell.
Okay.
Without properly studying the walls. And as you sort of touch these buildings, I think Shank again would be, ah yes, the embassies. I'm amazed these still stand.
It might not be for long if we think what's coming is actually coming for us. It's just weird to think that there was a time of peace.
It was always a tenuous peace. Even when I was alive, it was tenuous.
Sorry, what? This might be a daft question, but I've always assumed you were just a sword.
I've taken many forms in my time. In this essence. But oh, I once lived. I was once a royal knight.
That'll explain all of the phenylan chants, I suppose.
Well,
so did you serve under Gareth before you was the blade of Gareth? Before you was the literal blade of Gareth, were you the metaphorical? Okay.
I was always known as the blade of the king, but I suppose it would have been a great ancestor of Gareth. He was not the first to seek out peace in this land. He was the first to maintain peace for some time. But all that fell by the wayside. May you fare better.
Yes, I hope to restore and keep the peace, hopefully, between all the realms, planes, worlds. But it's a tall ask. I'll do you proud.
May I serve you well, my lord?
I'm sure you will.
Might I recommend not opening these gates just yet?
Oh yeah, I fear what's on the other side of them, to be honest, so I don't want to open them just yet. We need to find the source. That is priority number one.
Aye. Well, as I said, temple?
Temple. For Nyland.
For Nyland, my king. For Nyland.
I'm going to have to get that tattooed on me at some point, I think.
Amazing. Kirik, you finally now get within touching distance of this marble statue of the Raven Queen, and it is made out of almost polished obsidian, if you like, that marble obsidian effect, up until you get to the very white mask, which is the purest white marble. Purer than the white marble of the Celestial Embassy behind you, which you don't know is the Celestial Embassy, of course. But it is so... Having seen her and the form she takes, it is just so perfect. And beyond it lies the temple. These two sweeping staircases lead up into it. Much like the keep, sort of two curved staircases leading up to a central doorway.
I will look to see if my companions are behind me. Taking a moment.
So they all are, and takes his time, but slowly but surely reaches you.
Well, are we ready? We don't know what's going to be inside that, but if the others are anything to go by.
I think we're quite ready. I know exactly what you mean, but I am nervous now. We need to get on. They know we're here.
Yeah, well, on that, the Shank did tell me not to open the gates for fear of what being on the other side, really. But what I have been able to determine is the walls that surround this place, although they're broken and they're not complete, they are covered in what appear to be protective runes. I can't determine whether they're still functional or not. I suspect not, but I don't know if we could activate them somehow. This would be a protective stronghold that we could defend.
How far away are we from the walls, roughly? Like the closest wall?
The closest wall would be directly to the south of you, and it's probably about a 5-10 minute walk away.
Well, we can check that after we, Dagon can see magic. I can detect if they're consecrated or something. So I think right now
I'm torn, but yeah, let's go. Let's not look at the walls. By chance, we can't get any extra help here. Not for us, but maybe to rebuild those. Can we get a message out? Is what I'm asking.
Eventually.
Okay.
Yeah, I suppose Mary Warriors is such an ancient language that Gindris is probably the only one who'll be able to read it and recognise it, given it seems to be ancient Draconic, and I think Gindris is probably the only one old enough to still know what it says.
Either that or ethereal.
Yeah, you might know. If we're going to go to the Wizards University, it's as good a place as any to find out.
I do not think we should leave this place uninhabited and unguarded. I will say that right now.
It's above water now. Yeah, that's true.
That has completely changed our plans. So, let's get inside this temple and find the source. Are we sure it's in here?
Shanks thinks that's the best bet. Kirik seems drawn to it. Girth had a real affinity for the Raven Queen, and he says that he used the source to build this place. I keep saying Girth. I am saying Girth. It's just not coming across very well on the mic.
Girth.
And then, but we must not. We must keep the temple safe. We can't destroy the temple. That is one thing we can't do. We can destroy the source, or free the source. The temple must remain.
I completely agree. Kirik, I think it's fairly apt, but after you.
I'll make my way up the stairs.
Okay. Kirik, as you walk up the stairs, that feeling you've been feeling the whole time you've wandered closer and closer towards this temple, that almost cold flow through the very core of you intensifies. You walk up the stairs and approach these great double doors.
Is there any writing or anything on the doors?
There is. And it is...
Can I read it?
You can. It is one of the first things you ever really learned when you were becoming a steward of the Raven Queen or an acolyte of the Raven Queen in your studies. One of the most basic prayers to said Raven Queen.
I will look at it, chuckle, thinking how long ago that's been, and I will open the door.
The dead should stay dead.
And as you push on these double doors, there's this... And inside you find a temple with its cloisters, its marble pillars. And unlike most temples, very similar, however, to the setup of the altar at the Temple of Glentuag. There is no altar as such here, but a pool of water from the centre of the room, surrounded by, would have been surrounded by either cushions or some form of seating, soft seating, simple seating. The water in this central pool is deadly still, almost like a mirror with how still it is. The only ripples being caused by the gentle breeze that now comes in through the door that you've just opened. There is very little light in here. Candles long burned out or extinguished.
I will cast light on my shield for End's sake. And I will sort of close my eyes and just let the pull, this pull that I've been feeling, guide me towards where I might need to go. It's completely giving control to her.
And funnily enough, it's your shield arm that almost leads you forward to that pool. That clear, crystal clear water. Just leads you ever closer as the light now begins to sort of reverberate around the halls and reflect around the halls in this temple. And there are smaller effigies to the Raven Queen and alcoves and, as I say, small cloisters that lead off, but the focal point is very much this central pool. You can see what look like old, very old, almost inlaid roses laid around the edge of this pool. Been there for so long that they've become a very part of the floor as they've been pressed and compressed by other flowers that have been laid atop.
Cool. Kirik's gonna start taking his armor off.
Okay.
And it's gonna take, I believe, 5 minutes, because it's medium armor.
Is that wise?
You doing?
I have a feeling I need to go into the water.
Okay, I have a feeling of unease.
I will guard the door.
You're not going to be naked, are you? I thought I've seen that in the chat as I've said it as well. We're me and Stick on the same page. Want to get a look at Kirik's butt?
I mean, when you die, you take the clothes with you.
Oh, is that a yes? Do you need some privacy?
I mean, I don't care. It's up to you.
If you're sure, Kirik, I'll give you a hand. Make it a little
Well, no,
quicker to get off.
I've watched you in the bath before, but I don't think this is really the same thing, is it?
So
just
Dargon,
chuckle
you
and
help
just
Kirik. Yeah, Dargon, you help Kirik to shirk his armour.
Yep. As I completely fucked that up.
That's okay.
Do you know what? I thought that was my ears. I thought,
take the
fucking hell, my
silence.
ears have gone. My ears have popped. I can't hear it.
Yeah, it was very much that sensation of like, sound popping when you come out of the.
Hey, at least you can hear it.
Yeah. Yeah, and after I take my armor off, I will
Oh, you did.
get into the pool.
You sit down and sort of swing your legs in, and the minute your toes and calves and shins hit that water, it is an icy, icy cold. That cold you've only ever felt in a certain river, in a certain place. You went all the way in?
Oh yeah.
Okay. It is shallow enough for when you stand, it comes to just above your waist. As you step in, the eyes on the raven of your shield begin to glow. What are you doing?
Considering that I believe we start water breathing on, I am going to completely submerge.
You do have water breathing on still.
Good.
And you just instinctively sort of and drop yourself down, and there is that icy, icy cold, but for a moment you are just suspended, naked in this pool, your hair just sort of billowing out behind you. And time stops. You almost freeze in place. Welcome, Kirik, to my presence on this very plane. My conduit to you. Welcome home.
It's been a long journey.
Very. One that is not over yet. But all paths have led you here.
And where will they take me after?
For once, that is not something I can answer. That thread is not yet decided. It is not me who decides it. It is not your friends who decide it. This one is yours. Your choice. Yours alone. I can grant you entrance to what you seek beneath the very foundations of this building. But it will not be an easy fight.
I gathered. The road has only been getting harder and tougher. But I think so have we all.
You have grown in strength from that first day when I brought you here.
Well, only because you allowed me to. Otherwise, my powers comes from you, so I'm very thankful.
You are most welcome. Not like me to have favourites, but it is rare there is someone as devout as you are, as committed. And I know what it took in that river for you to turn away. But there will be time for that.
Very well.
If you succeed in this, Kirik, this right here, there will be little else that I can give you but one final gift. If you succeed.
As always, I will try to do my best.
Whatever happens, we shall speak again.
Until then.
Until then. Good luck, my champion.
Thank you.
Time begins to flow again. Dargon, and you would have noticed that the surface of this pool has taken on something of an icy sheen. But slowly, Kirik just raises up and the ice cracks around him, and there's almost this silhouette, if you like, or this outline of ice as Kirik stands. And as you stand, Kirik, there is just this sound of stone shifting. You turn, and behind you, maybe 10 feet away from this very pool, a stone staircase is revealed.
I will kind of stand up and move up the sort of steps to the pool. And I will turn around as I'm putting my armor on, which takes 5 minutes. I just double checked. I will say, well, this is, and you were right, this is, her presence here is unlike anything I've experienced apart from by the river. I think there was definitely an agreement between Geth and her. She has mentioned that the fight ahead is potentially our toughest one thus far. If you have any preparations that you would like, I believe now is the time.
Do we have time to rest? Short one, sit down for a bit.
That's quite a long while. Like you said, Dogon, we are a big target right now.
I agree. Well, I think I might have to take one of these potions then. And see how we make it through. So
Together, like we always do.
I shall have a supreme healing.
I have 2, if anybody needs one.
Yeah, I got 2 as well, so I'm gonna have 1. Nope.
I think we've all got one, haven't we? We've all got a supreme one.
I realised some stuff.
Oof.
Bothrid is going to place a hand on himself and, rather than use the potion, thinking this is something I can use in a dire moment, he is going to cast a 3rd level Cure Wounds on himself.
Nice.
For a very shit 9 points of health back.
I'm
That
very
is quite
lucky,
shit.
and I rolled enough to get myself back up to full.
Nice. While everybody's doing this, I'd like to say to Kirik that when we make it out the other side of this, I think you're going to have to start teaching me about the Raven Queen so I can continue Geth's legacy and promise.
I'm going to hold on every single ounce of me to not say, I thought you'd never ask, but I will simply smoke.
I thought you were just going to grab me and baptise me then. Just dump me in the water.
Just throws in the water.
Throw you in the water.
Lob you over the shoulder, you are now baptised.
I will smirk and I will say, in time.
Okay. My Wardens, what are we doing then?
I guess we don't need to know which way to go. The obvious and mind-blowing sign of where we're going, yeah?
Yep. I am gonna drink my last portion, my last charge of Miser's Ruin.
Nice.
Oh boy.
I love how that has lasted throughout this whole campaign up to this point now. That is amazing.
Yeah. It has indeed.
I didn't get to use my wands before I lost it.
I have 1 charge of my whiskey left. Where is it?
Yeah, I'm popping that.
I got 1 left.
Okay.
And I will lead, please.
Absolutely, sir. So you make your way down these stone stairs that have been revealed, picking up your shield, which I'll say for the sake of it still has light cast on it. Not broken concentration on that, so to speak. It's fine, we'll leave that going. The stairs go down and then they turn and become a spiral staircase. Leads ever further down. And eventually you find yourself at the bottom of this cylindrical chamber. And you step out onto a wet floor. A floor which has maybe 6 or so inches of cool water. Just level. There is a stone door, the only exit other than the stairs above you, immediately in front of you.
Where to? I'm assuming the only thing in this room is that other door. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yep.
I believe so.
So I will open the door.
Okay. So I'm just having fog issues right now with my map. I'm assuming you guys can see. Oh no, you should be able to see the first bit.
Yep, I
Yes.
see the first bit
Cool.
and the corridor.
Excellent. Cool. So the stone door, as you... Did you say you're going towards it, trying to open it?
Yes.
As you go towards it and try to open it, doesn't budge.
And I believe this is your speciality.
Is it, when I go up to the door, is it a door with a handle and a lock? Or is it just literally just a rectangle in a frame with nothing to unlock, as it were?
There is a handle. You don't see a lock.
Okay. I don't want to use the spell because if there is anybody landing in there, I don't want them to alert them where we are necessarily. So I will use the chime of opening that I found. Please use one of its charges.
Okay, and describe for our lovely viewers what that chime does and how it works.
So it's almost like, you know, when you strike a triangle and it's like a ding, like a tuning fork almost. And then when I point that at the door I want to open, the sound wave will fly towards it and hopefully unlock the door. Unless it has more than one latch.
Okay. So there is just this ding, begins to resonate, and there is just this. You hear a latch go.
You can't say I'm not a hands-on king. After you, sir.
I will open the door.
Okay. Rather than the sound of stone on stone, which you've been familiar with in these sort of dungeons, there is just this, the sound of water that flows, and as you open the door you can see this almost micro wave, not a microwave, small wave that just
A microwave.
pushes down the corridor beyond, and you can see a room that stretches out beyond the end of this corridor. How much light does your shield give off?
20 and 20, I think. Yeah, 20.
How much light am I giving off?
Right.
You're 1,000
you're
feet.
still back in the stairs somewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, you are this fucking beacon.
Literally no point me ever rolling a stealth check.
Yeah, not really.
So I've got a glowy bead on there. So I've got a head torch on, like a miner. You're just a walking jack-o'-lantern. And then Kirik goes.
It's a little late.
Okay. 5, 10, 15, 20. Yeah, I'll pretty much then do this then, I think. He says. There you go.
What the fuck is that?
It's a rock, is it? Hang on, mate. Is that a fucking kraken? Octopus in the bottom.
I will say, Kirik, as you sort of use your light and stare in, you'll say this. It's almost like a rock pool, this area that you now see. And let's just clear the rest of this fucking fog because you've stepped up close to the room and I'm not bothered about this room too much. There is a small sort of protruding rock in the centre where water sort of flows around as this wave goes forward. You can see these strange aquatic plants, and then there's these bizarre black oily vines, if you like, that grow out. It just looks like some strange aquatic plant, but it's not moving. It's just these weird vine-like things that are growing in this area.
Just for my sake, I will use Eyes of the Grave, just because it freaks me out.
Okay.
Do you really think we have an undead here?
Yeah.
With Eyes of
Yeah,
the
that's true.
Grave, you see no undead. You sense
Great.
no undead.
Amazing. I'll step into the room, and I will continue to move.
I don't know
way
about Ander,
towards-
but I will be following Kirik, staying close.
Cool. Say as Kirik, you step into the room and again disturb the water. There is just this four swirling pools appear within this chamber now. As you disturb the water, out of these pools just rise these water beings taking the form of humanoids, but as they rise you can see that they are wearing this strange almost metallic coral-like helmet and armor as they form out of the water itself. And when I can get to my monsters tab, because Albo Rodeo really needs a fucking search button.
They're the crew from Davy Jones. Davy Jones' ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Part of the ship, part of the crew.
Part of the crew.
Did I not say this fucker? Bear with me. I need to go to Hero Forge for just a very brief moment. Talk amongst yourselves.
Can I just say,
Dutchman must have a captain.
Yeah, I may be able to show you actually. Can we just give kudos to the fact that he's already changed his name? All right.
Yeah, I haven't even noticed that because I have that hidden. Good pull, sir. Good pull. It also does not escape my. It does not escape my attention that the configuration of all these sources, the configuration of the dungeons, has all been the same. It's pretty neat.
Ooh, I did not notice that.
I wonder if any of the viewers caught that, because I didn't. I mean, I thought it looked familiar, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
But
This is a thing that fellow map designers will notice.
Do you think I need to change it on under me, my video of myself? It needs to say King Under. Do you think?
Would you like it changing?
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Oh, they look cool.
So I will share the full link to these so we can post it. As I say, at some point, for anybody that uses Hero Forge, I'm going to start tagging all of these creatures with either the Malt and Magic tag or Nihilin, so people can just go view this stuff via the community on Hero Forge that is now available. So I'll do that instead, and then I'll let you know when that's all done.
Nice.
Because there's been quite a few monsters and stuff. So cool. There you go. These four creatures just emerge, and there is just this strange sort of sucking sound as they all just turn to you. And they do sort of speak, but it comes out as gurgles and just the sound of water rushing. Nobody would understand what they say. Each of them holds a trident. And I need everybody to roll initiative, please.
Okay, yeah.
Oh no.
I was going to say something to Ander, but
I mean, you've got that moment if you really want to.
no, it's okay.
Okay. Sorry. Yes.
So I'm going to give you one last fucking chance. Don't fuck this up.
Got a 20. I'm happy with that. Initiative roll.
Nice. If
You're
only
at
we
the front, Kieran.
didn't
You got
have.
to roll high.
If only we didn't have a half orc blocking the path. Where have I seen this before? I've seen this one before, like months ago, almost a year ago or something.
Bothry got 14 total. Dargon?
16.
16. And Kirik?
15.
15. So it will be Ander, Dargon, Kirik, and Bothrid bringing up the rear. which sort of
Wow.
fits.
Yeah.
Kind of just a little bit fits with almost the running order, the marching order that we had. Except Dargon has skipped up here, sorry.
I had, yeah.
Okay, so as these 4 creatures appear, Andy, you are up first. And you are behind, so you can squeeze
So what
past
I'm gonna-
Dargon and Kirik, but it's going to cost you double movement through those squares.
I could just get past them, can't I? But what I was going to do, it's going to look really cool. I was going to do a running slide through the legs and then pop up
I'll
from
allow it.
underneath them, stand up, and I'll just shout, "Take the knee for your king," and see what happens. Can I do that? No, I haven't got the spell for that. I was thinking I was going to use Connect now. And I'll say bow to your king, but then I'll also obviously cast slow at the same time, just as a backup plan.
That's the verbal component for the spell.
Yeah. So that's Wisdom 18
Let's
from
do
all of them,
this.
please. Yeah.
Make sure they've all got a fucking name.
Yeah,
Wisdom,
but I
mean,
wisdom.
Anders got to
there
do
you go.
some sort of like, the full-on slide on the knees like Loki, sort of, like dagger out, so it's going to
100%.
look majestic regardless of where he's coming from.
I just like to think my
the
new
length.
crown, though, just like nearly circumcised you as I went past.
There was definitely a tinkle as you went past. Ding, 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 ding.
I mean, it's all
Yeah,
well
cock on
protected
your
by
Dargon.
plate armor now, so
I say
it's-
balls of steel,
That's true.
Okay,
Don't
so
have to
A
say
gets a
that.
13 on the wisdom save.
See ya.
That jumped out. B gets a 3.
Oh,
C gets an 11. Fucking hell. Oh,
We're gonna
Jesus
four,
Christ,
four.
I'm throwing this dice away. 4, 4.
no, keep it. Your
All of them
king
slowed.
commands you keep it.
You're not my king. I am God.
It's gone to my head already.
God's an NPC, man. God's an NPC.
Well played. Cool, so if all 4 of these creatures are now slowed.
And I am obviously concentrating now, but just realised that's as far as
You're
I'm
at the
going to go, and I'm
front.
banging the way, aren't I?
Where did you go? You went 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 feet to there.
Okay, then I will then just go
Move.
step one more into the room. Yeah.
Love how you move that just as I was about to drop the concentration token on your face.
I thank you.
No, we don't want to do that. There we go. So, concentrating on slow. And with that, we are then over to these water creatures.
Oh boy.
It's going to be a short range.
That is-
Isn't it?
Yeah, they
That is a
rolled a
bad
19
place
on their
for you to be,
initiative.
my friends. That is not where you want to be.
So,
Uncanny dodge. Uncanny dodge.
Five.
Uncanny dodge.
10 to there. And would usually be able to make 3 attacks.
Jesus.
It's good job I slowed
Can only
him,
make
innit?
1, but is going to do so using its Freezing Strikes ability.
That doesn't
I don't
sound
feel
good.
good about this.
So,
No. If
It's
they hadn't been
trident
slowed, they would have been
attack,
dead, because that would have been
which-
12 attacks.
Yeah.
that is a big fat 13 to hit.
Nope.
So as this trident comes forward, and you can see the tips of the trident almost frost over, it then just sort of slowly stretches forward, and you're able to just sort of lean to the side as it comes at you. WMB is going to take 5 feet forward and is going to attempt to do the same. That's going to miss with a 15.
Oh my god, what is,
Okay,
Ooh,
I've got a
zoomed in
crown of
far too
four-leaf
far.
clovers on
what
my
is
head.
happening?
5, 10, WMC. 15 again. Fucking hate this dice. Go away. You.
Can't possibly be this.
WMD. Oh, Jesus Christ. That's another 13. As WMD steps up.
Wow.
Now, I was going to say, Danny, because you don't use it very often, you do have that skill to use your reaction to move half your movement away from someone if they come into range. But obviously, I know that you're expecting, but they don't have a reaction at the moment.
Well, the skirmisher lets me move away without an opportunity attack anyway.
Nice.
Wow.
So.
Okay, so the wisdom saving throws.
Yes.
A is still slowed. B is still slowed. C is still slowed. D is still slowed. What an absolute shit show. I need a better D20.
As if Dave has teed it up for me, I will use my reaction. I was saving it in case I needed the uncanny dodge, but I will use my skirmisher reaction to move 5, 10, 15 over here. Oh, thank you.
Nice. As you just almost saunter through the... I'm going to say it's almost a Jack Sparrow style run since we've been doing pirates. Whatnot.
Shimmy, shimmy, shimmy.
And with that, Dargon.
Okay.
Can you just run through the crowd holding a blade either way and just cut them all in half? Be done with it.
He's only got one. Oh, I suppose you got your dagger.
Yeah, okay, so...
Ten feet of movement to move through Kirik's square.
Yeah.
I'd like to actually see that play out in real life and you trying to squeeze through Kirik in your armour.
To move someone, to basically drag or push them, is basically means that it's half your movement if they're willing.
Shove. You would have to shove Kirik.
Okay, I don't want to let him. Oh yeah, I'll get through.
It doesn't have to. A shove doesn't necessarily hurt.
Yeah, but it uses one of my my attacks to shove.
It does use. Yeah.
So, no, that's fine. I thought I was going to be able to do something else. So that's fine. Yeah, I'll make it through. So what is that going to be? Is it 5, 10, 15 to get to there?
Yep.
20, 25.
Nice.
Oh, that's not really going to be very helpful. Bugger.
So
okay.
you hop on top of that rock that's there.
Yeah. I tell you what then, 25, 30. So I'm going to go to there.
Okay.
Because
They
my
can't do
intent.
anything.
Yeah, well, Dargon doesn't really know that. Wasn't my intention. That was purely because I thought actually I just need to get to next to Ander, knowing what he's just done, to look after him, to protect him. So, I'm going to swipe at WMA now.
Okay.
But I'm going to bonus action Hex
Nice.
on
Not had a hex in a while.
A. And
Hex.
I shall say again, strength ability checks is the
Strength ability checks.
disadvantage. That was absolute garbage. That was a 18 to hit. Lowest I could roll without missing.
And an 18 is the magic number you needed.
Okay, one of them. Oh my god, another 18. Oh my god, a 19. Okay, that dice is going away.
2, 2, and 3.
Yeah,
rolled.
2, 2, and 3. Yeah, that
2,
was
2, and a 3.
bad. Okay, but I still hit.
Fuck
So,
the Timir's Wrath, eh?
yeah, thank God for that. So that's one of them, one of them, one
I
of
got
them.
for a tuning to it, you mate.
Shut up.
I love
We
how the
won't-
digs
we won't.
used to be about Ander losing all his shit, and now it's
Now
about
it's
Dargon
not.
tuning to an item.
Okay, here we go. All the dice. Do you need the necrotic damage different?
No.
Cool. Yes, I've got the calculator out.
Necrotic
60
damage.
If you end up saying,
Hex.
go on.
61 points of damage to A.
Oh, that's a good start. I thought you were going to get the calculator and just go 7.
I have to add, well, actually 7 numbers together, so I might as well just do it bloody quickly on the keyboard.
Yeah.
I have moved, and that is my go. Nah, sod it. I'm gonna fling my dagger at B. If that's a ranged attack though, but I have someone next to me, does that mean it's disadvantage, or does it only have to be if my actual attacker is?
Nope. It's if you've got an enemy within 5 feet of you, your ranged attack is at disadvantage.
Or even if you're shooting somebody else.
If it is, fine. Yeah, do you know what? I said I was going to do it. I'm going to do it. So that'll be disadvantage. Yeah, so that is going to be a dagger thrown. Oh, that's fine. That was a 17 and 18 on the die, plus 15.
Nice.
So that's at B, and that will have 1d4 plus 1d10 plus 10. So that is 14 points of piercing damage to B. And my dagger is...
Where did that plus 10 come from?
The plus 10 is the damage that I do, apparently.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
I still don't quite understand what's changed in the last couple of weeks, because I still don't know how it gets calculated, but it's telling me.
Strength.
Jesus.
Strength plus proficiency?
Yeah, strength plus proficiency. Oh, shit.
Proficiency is not added to damage though.
That's got to be something that's added there.
Was it plus 2? So is it meant to be...
Plus 7.
It will be plus 7. You see, this is what I don't understand. Why I'm getting plus 11 and plus 10 on these things now.
Something to double check.
I'd go with it. It didn't even under
Plus your
figure it out
strength
correctly.
plus 2.
I wonder whether it's doing like strength twice.
It might be, you know. This might be a bug with the Monsters of the Multiverse stuff.
Could be. That was when it changed.
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
we're on
last
it. It's
week.
on your character sheet. I'll check the forums later.
Yeah. Anyway,
But
there
yeah,
you go.
roll with it for now. It's not too much of an issue. Cool. With that then, Kirik.
Yes, well, realizing that Bothrid's still behind us, I will open up the corridor. 5, 10, 10. I'll move there, give Dargon some space. And as I'm
Straight
moving,
in.
I'm going... Yeah. As I'm moving, I'm going to impact the shield on the floor. And from the... Because of the, like, small level of water, it's going to like splash up, and those splashes of water are just going to turn into ravens and start flowing around me as I cast a Spirit Guardians at 3rd level, please.
I got you.
We have not used this in a while.
It has been a minute.
It's been a hot minute.
And now I am here.
Okay, there we go. Spirit Guardians. These ravens just everywhere. And I'm going to say for this, the ravens are actually made of almost like crystalline water as they fly around this time. Just to add some flavour to that.
Yeah, and that's my go, because I can't use... Well, I can use Strenuous Sticks, but I won't grow, so I won't do that.
Yeah, probably the best. Bothrid then, seeing everybody run in and thinking, oh shit, the king is in danger. He's gonna rage.
My
Damn
liege.
straight.
5, 10, 15, 20, straight off the bat with his rage. And then 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 to get to there. With his movement speed. He's got the... In fact, no, I'll say he moves to there and is pulling Nature's Thread out the whip. And he is just going to attack
Nice.
twice. Once at B, once at D. And it's just going to... as this whip lashes out. So the first attack with Nature's Threads, Reckless, is a natural 1 and a 6, but it's a 12, a plus 12, so it's 18, which is going to hit. So it's going to hit on B, and then against D, it's a 2 or a 2. It's a 14, so D is not going to get hit. My dice are really not playing ball this evening. Cool. So that's going to be... On B then, it's going to be... Oh, shit, the bed. None of the dice are playing... So I've got 1d4 damage, plus 7 on this. I've rolled a 1 on the d4. This is how bad my dice rolls are tonight. So that is going to be 8, plus an additional 2d8 piercing damage from the thorns that are on this vine-like whip.
You know what this means for next
5,
week?
6, 7. So that's a total of 15 points of piercing damage, or slashing damage. So it's slashing and piercing there. 2B. 15 points of damage. And that will be Bothrid as he's used his bonus action and his action. And then back around the top to Ander.
So, what I'm thinking is, do I want to stab them or do I want to shoot them with a bow and arrow? Using Dargon as cover, almost, I will use steady aim to then fire an arrow at A.
Go for it.
Bonus action steady aim, so get advantage, and this is where the natural 20 comes out.
He is basically a pillar, so at this point,
No.
that plate of armor.
22
will
to hit. With the lowest damage I could roll, 8 piercing damage, sneak attack damage of roll better, 2 6s I'll do with 17, and then the D4 of 3.
Yeah, nice.
Three.
There we go. And that will be your turn, I believe.
Aye.
A then is first going to make a wisdom saving throw.
So it will.
Probably get royally butt fucked at this point.
There's a lot of rolls, wisdom saving throws
8.
coming on each turn.
That's a fail. $12 points of radiant damage, please.
12 points of radiant damage. Bloodied.
Nice.
Wisdom saving... Sorry, no. Is going to then try and attack Kirik with the trident. One attack. That is a 19 to hit.
It misses.
Just ting, catches against your armour. Wisdom saving throw for slow. A 9. B is then going to also make a wisdom saving throw. That is a 12.
Misses. Fails even. 16 points of radiant.
16 points of radiant damage. It's then going to try and attack you with the trident. That's better. That's a 24 to hit.
That will hit.
And that's two-handed. So that will be a total of 8 points of force damage as this water-like trident just slams into you. Wisdom saving throw for slow. Natural 20.
Okay. One down.
The one that attacked me was B, right?
Yes.
The one that's just saved as well. Yeah, okay. That's
Cool. C then. Wisdom saving throw. 7.
Yes. 16, 19 points of radiant.
19 points of radiant damage on C. It goes to stab Dargon with its trident and misses with a 19. Just catches on the Solar Swift armor. They're going to make a wisdom saving throw. 6. And then D. Wisdom saving throw for Spirit Guardian. 17.
Fails. My save DC is currently at 19. 14, 22 points of radiant.
22 points of radiant. Misses with its attack on Kirik and fails its saving throw for slow. Dargon.
I shall attack A, please.
I just double checked my concentration check and I rolled an 18 when B hit me.
Nice.
So we're all good.
Okay, I have a natural 20.
Yeah, let's get that tracked. Nice.
An
Deny it.
18. An 18.
Nah, I'm good.
An 18 hits.
And a 29.
Nice.
Okay,
I
so
think A might just be about to die.
well, I'm going to roll the non-natural 20s now. Uh, 32 points of damage from
The
two
non-natural
of them.
20.
From yeah,
Yep.
and then 27 points from the natural 20.
Still up. Not looking good as you slice parts of this coral metallic like plate armor off and just send splashes of water just flowing out. It is not looking good. You can see part of its form beginning to just sort of shift and sink and reform.
I will. It's not allowed.
Your dagger currently is in the pool of water somewhere, by the way.
Yeah, not a lot else I can do. Oh, it's over next to B, so I can't pick it up.
Okay, Kirik.
I will. Yeah, seeing the bee has seemed to be able to escape whatever effect, and put him on, I will reach out towards sort of the chest plate that it has, and I will cast a first level inflict wounds.
Nice. Roll to hit, please.
That is a 27 to hit.
27 is absolutely going to hit.
So that is going to be that. Then hold 16 points of necrotic damage.
16 points necrotic. Nice. Anything else on your turn?
That's going to be me. Thank you very much.
Nice. It is then Bothrid's go. Bothrid is yet again going to lash out with that whip recklessly. First at B. That's cocked. So 5, so 15, or an unnatural 20. So we'll take the unnatural 20. And then a D. Natural 20.
Wait.
So we
So you are
will
rolling them,
do B first. Yeah. So that's 9 plus 2d8, 9, 10, 17 points of damage to B. 17 points of damage to B. And then the natural 20 on D. Let's do this the easy way. Crit damage. Roll that bastard. So that's 11 points from the initial point of the whip, and then 4d8. So 11, 13, 17, 25, 26. 26 points of damage to D.
Very nice.
And then this time, as a bonus action, we will get the Fey gift again. And this time, it's going to grant hospitality to you, Kirik. You are going to get 8 points of temporary HP.
Nice. 8 points.
And then it is back up to the top to Ander.
I will rinse and repeat and do another steady aim, shoot my bow and arrow at A, please.
Come on, that's 20.
Come on, I haven't had one yet. I still haven't got one. 24. Luckily it was with advantage because the first one was a 1. 13 piercing damage.
Nice.
A sneak attack damage of... I think 13, and then the D4.
Which is all important in this case.
Another 2.
Had a single hit point left waiting for that D4. So as you fire that arrow and it just spirals through the air, strikes dead center of the skull of this water-based creature, if you like, and the plate's metal coral helmet just shatters as this creature splashes into nothingness. Gonna move Hex over here for when Dargon inevitably wants to reuse it. And A is gone.
That's way long.
We're then over to these creatures because that's Hunter's go. So B is going to make a wisdom saving throw, and I really need to make a decision on a D20 here. No, I've rolled one with that. We'll go again. That is a 13 on the wisdom saving throw.
11 points of radiant damage, please.
That was a bad roll. Blimey.
It was.
Points of radiant damage.
It was average.
B. Okay, it's then going to make
but it's not
3
slowed.
trident
Yeah.
attacks against you, Kirik. So first one is that was much better. That's a 16 on the dice, so that is 23 to hit with the first.
It hits.
19 for the second.
Misses.
And 25 on the third. So 2 of those are going to hit.
Yep.
You are going to take 7, 12...
Can you give me the damage
20
separately,
points
please?
It's 20 points of force damage. So, sorry, that will be 11 points of force damage first, and then 9 points of force damage.
Okay, first is a 26, second is a 11.
Oh, that was close. That was really close.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's
it was.
still up.
Thank God for resilience.
C then is going to attempt to attack. No. Wisdom saving throw first. An 18 on the dice.
It fails. I'm up to 19.
What the fuck is your save at now?
19.
19?
It's 18 usually, but
close.
because of the potion. 13
Yeah.
points of radiant damage.
13 points of radiant. Cool. It's then going to attempt to stab. Okay. That's a 15. It's going to miss.
It is.
And then the wisdom saving throw for slow as the dice jumps out of the box. 17 against slow.
Ooh, that seems quite good.
Danny.
You're muted.
Yeah. You got to get 18. I don't know why it was muted then.
Okay, no, cool.
18.
Sorry, I was just rereading. So I believe because C attacked Kirik. Because C is within 5 feet of me, I can still attack it. So I'll use my reaction to Sentinel attack that. So that will be a...
Roll damage for D. Kirik, please.
19 to hit.
19 is going to hit just.
That is 13 points of slashing damage.
13 points of slashing damage. Nice. So D has failed its wisdom saving throw for Spirit Guardians.
10 points of radiant damage, please.
10 points of radiant damage. It's then going to attempt to attack you, Kirik. That is a 22 to hit.
It is going to hit.
You are going to take 7 points of force damage.
7 points of force damage.
Determined to get Spirit Guardians down, isn't he?
So close.
12
So close.
on the save.
Nice. Dargon, you'll go.
I'll
He
attack
is
C.
slowed.
Bonus action.
Still. 17.
Yeah. Bonus action. Move Hex to C.
Nice.
I remembered.
Same again?
3 attacks to C, please. So,
Strength again?
yes. A 19 to hit, a dirty 20 to hit,
Nine.
and an 18
Twins.
to hit. Again, 3, 4, and 5.
All
Sorry, 2, 3,
three
4.
will hit.
My God, that's bad. That's going away as well. God, what's going on?
I was going to say, there's some fucking terrible rolls tonight.
Terrible rolls tonight. Okay, here we go.
My favourite dice has let me down.
Oh my God, that's incredible. A roll.
I might be bringing it back after that one, though.
That's amazing. So that's just mind blowing. 61 points of damage to C, please.
Holy shit.
Nice.
Yeah, see
Bloody hell.
bloody. 61 points. Fuck.
Yeah, what's incredible is on the D6s, I rolled a 2 and a 2. On the D8s, I rolled a 7 and a 7. And on... and then on a D8 and a D6, I rolled a 5 and a 5. So I literally had 2, 2, 7, 7, 5, 5. I'm like, what is going on here?
Jesus.
All pairings.
Anything else on your turn?
Yeah, I'm going to action surge.
Nice. Why the fuck not?
And I'm going to...
Let's go.
Use a... bear with me while I figure this one out. I believe it's the shove action. Should be to be able to knock it prone. Is that the right thing? Am I looking at the right thing here?
Yes, I
Yes,
believe so.
I can either knock it prone. So, I would like to use, and as I have 3 attacks, I can use one of my attacks to do this. It's my first one, and I'm going to roll. So I'm going to shove it. So kick it to the ground, basically.
Okay. So not
So
only
that-
do you slice 3 times into this creature, you then lift your foot up and Spartan kick this fucker.
Yep. So that'll be a contested strength roll, and it will have disadvantage on that.
Nah.
Nice.
We just discovered a
6.
combo.
Yeah, I have a combo. Well, that was really lucky that you rolled badly, because I rolled badly too, and I got 10.
Wow.
My first one would have been, so I rolled an 8 first time around, which would have made it a 12.
Yeah, that was
So,
really bad.
well
on
done
mine.
for imposing disadvantage there.
Yeah. Okay, so he is
So
now
instead,
prone, and
this
I now
creature gets
have
knocked prone.
advantage on attacking him for the next 2 times.
I see what you did there.
Oh,
Nice.
So that's a
Very
30 to hit on the second one, and a 19 plus stuff to
Yep.
to the third, if you know what I mean. So then that is those ones. 34 points of damage to C.
34 points of damage to C. Still up. Not looking good though.
Cool. That will
Movement.
be my go.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay there.
Kirik.
Seeing C on the floor, I will click my fingers towards it and cast a Toll of the Dead. Hopefully finish him off. So wisdom saving throw, please.
It is indeed. Sorry, I was just trying to sort the tokens out there. That is a wisdom of 9.
There's a fail. Oh, that was close. 25 points of
25 points of necrotic damage. Still up. I say up. Currently laid flat on the floor and it's back. But still just about there. Okay.
That is going to be my turn.
Bothrid then is just going to continue. Is he going to do this? Now. You can't cast or concentrate on spells on raging, so yes, he is going to continue to whip the whip recklessly.
The whip.
First one against B. That is an 18 or 22. So I'll take the 22. And then against D, that is a 16 or... Ooh, not good. 70... No, sorry, a 15. So the second one on D is going to miss, but B is going to hit. So that's going to be one of them. 10, 15, 17 points of damage to B. Which is enough to bloody B. That will be Bothrid's go. And we are then back around the top two. Ander.
So you
C
know
is
what I'm
prone.
going to do? Taking the
You're going for B.
opportunity. No, because C is prone, I'm going to stab him right in the fucking head.
Yes, you are.
Bring
So,
out
come
the
here.
Blade of Esamere.
And hopefully get an extra 20 because I still haven't had one.
Come on.
2 18s. Oh, I'm getting closer. So that is 8 points of piercing damage, but then sneak attack
Points piercing damage.
damage of 17. That's a bit better.
Nice.
Sorry, ignore me. I've just done that. Very wrong. Very, very wrong. Wrong creature. Heal. So, 8 points of damage followed by 17. And as you bring the Moonblade of Esamere, yes, my king! Again, the crown of like this helmet shatters. Water cascades everywhere, creating a small tidal wave. And
And as
C
I
is
killed him, I was
down.
like, I told you to kneel! Straight for his fucking head.
Nice.
pure Loki moment. I said, kneel!
Always bad.
Anything else in your turn, sir?
No, that'd be me.
Excellent. B then, wisdom saving throw.
Oh shit, yeah.
Natural 20.
Bugger.
She's back, baby.
So you can calculate how much damage that's going to be, because
It'd just be half. It's half for a save and then I'll
quartered. Yeah. So
Yeah, quartered.
18 points of. I rolled 18.
So you rolled 18. So that'd be
Yep.
9. So that'd be
9,
5
5?
points of damage.
Yeah.
Yep.
Damn.
Okay, it is then going to make 3 attacks against you. You being the closest. Well, I suppose it's got reach. No, it hasn't. Ignore me. Has not got reach. So, oh, that one jumped right onto my keyboard. That's shit. 26 to hit with the first.
It's
21 to hit with the second.
21 just
21
hits.
to hit with the third.
Just hits.
So you're going to take 7 points of force damage from the first.
Yep.
7 points of force damage from the second.
Yep.
And 11 points of force damage from the third. So I basically need 3 times.
Yeah, that saved. That saves as well, but they're going down. And I rolled a 10 on the final one. Jesus.
Oh.
I rolled a 5, a 4, and a 2 on the dice. This is why I took the resilient feat, because I can't roll concentration checks. Apparently. So I was like,
C
okay, I'll just
is
have a +8.
down. D then is going to make a wisdom saving throw of 18. Still not good enough. What a bastard.
Still not good enough. 6 and 3, 9, 9, and 8, 17. Points of radiant.
17. And then it's going to attempt to stab you, Kirik, for a natural 1. Total opposite. Save for the slow, an 8. Still slowed. Dargon.
I shall move 5 foot
I'm
there.
going to say, sorry, D is going to move there. 5 foot there.
Fine. I'm going to go for B. How fucked does B look?
Bloodied.
Yeah.
Okay. I will attack 3 times.
It's bloodied. It's on 40% health.
24 to hit.
24 will hit.
31 to hit.
31 will hit.
And 19 to hit.
19 will just hit.
Okay. I did not move Hex, so...
And I've deleted Hex. What a knob.
It's my own fault, so...
I mean, it's a bonus action, so I'll allow it if you want it.
Sure. I certainly won't say no. I certainly was going to move it to C. There's C, B, whichever one that was that I just can't see now.
C, B, A, E, R.
A through D. I'm just going to, yeah. So that is math. Because we're English.
3d6s on top of that as well.
Yeah. So that plus that plus that plus 30. 63 points of damage.
Jesus Christ.
Almost
not fucking
cleave
about
this
anymore, is he?
creature in half. Almost cleave this
Dragon's
creature in half. And
damage
the
up,
blade
but-
just passes through. You take off a chunk of the armour. It is somehow, it reshapes itself. There's a lot of water that has just gone and flooded into this sort of pool below.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately don't really have much else I can do, so that's gonna be it. I say much
Okay,
else I can
Kirik.
do. I just blatted him.
And just as it's reforming, I will, I will kind of clap my hand on the shield and cast Toll the Dead on it.
See ya.
That's a 4.
Fails.
He gone.
He's gone.
That was a bad roll though. That was 7. No, 9. That was 10 on 3d12s.
Okay, maybe he won't be gone.
No, sorry, 10 plus 5, 15.
He is gone.
Okay, cool.
Oh, I got whiplash.
Yeah. I forgot I add my modifier to cantrips.
There we go. There's a hex just floating in the ether.
Cool. And
Anything
it's
else
gonna
on
be
your
my
turn, Kirik? Okay. Bothrid then is going to put the whip away as a bonus action, draw the great axe, and is just going to step forward and recklessly attack the shit out of this thing with that great axe.
Yes.
That is a 22 to hit with the first. Sorry, a unnatural 20 to hit with the first. Oh shit, there was a natural 1 in there. And a 26 to hit with the second. So that will be...
I'd also say that if ever you have... I mean, I know we technically could have a little more, but if we ever had flanking manoeuvres, pretty flanked.
Yeah.
Bothrid's going to deal 20 points of slashing damage to D. And this creature is full on fucking surrounded. So I think way back when we did originally say it was a +1 when they were flanked,
+1,
but
yeah.
we just kept forgetting that rule and
Yeah.
did away with it. So anyway, we are over to Ander.
You know what's going to happen? I'm going to stab him, right? But he's not prone, is he?
Okay,
But I can
not
because
with
he's right next to me.
advantage,
It will if I use steady aim, though.
Nice.
Come on.
With the fact that just the idea of you just grab him and be like, right, stay there.
18.
18 is the magic number. Very bad roll.
That was dodgy, right. So that is 9 piercing damage, and then I better get... If I get 4 6s on sneak attack here to make up for it. No. 16, though.
Not bad. Not bad. Middle of the road. 16. Anything else?
I regret not using my bonus action to be able to disengage, but, you know, we'll see how it goes.
That will be it. Okay, so wisdom save of a 6.
Takes 8
Heal the
points
radiant.
of radiant damage.
Oh, good God.
Oh
Well,
dear.
Kirik already rolled it. He knew it was going to
It's
fail.
getting worse. Right, I'm going to roll a d4 here.
Yeah.
It's Bothrid, which means it gets advantage.
Yes.
Shit. Down the thing. That is a 24 or... Yeah, it's a 24 to hit. So that is going to be... Bothrid's going to take full damage, which is 12, reduced to 6. Bothrid's still got temporary HP. That's how bad that hit was.
Wow.
So that's it, and then it needs to make a wisdom save against the slow. Watch the fucking slow come off now. Nope, 9. Dargon, would you
Bring
like
us-
to see
bring
the
us on,
shit out
Dargon.
of this creature off?
So,
Bonus action hex?
Yep.
Do that for you.
3d6 to the...
Okay, natural 13, natural 13, natural 15. Plus
Yes.
16.
Yes. Yep.
Alright, that is a good roll, by the way. That is a really good roll.
It's going to be above 61.
Yeah, 66 points of damage.
There is an average of damage going on here. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Dargon, describe to me how you would like to kill this final creature.
I mean, considering they're kind of water, I don't really know. It would just be sort of, just kind of carving it up until it just pulls into water, just like splashes away.
We'll say with those 3 strikes, you sort of slice across the midriff, and there's this tss as the radiance of your blade just cuts through. You then sort of slice again, sort of down, across the chest of the creature. It shatters the plate armor on it, that coral-like armor. And then your final slice, you just bring it up around your head and cut through the neck. And as you cut through the neck, there's just this... doesn't form a pool of water, just steam.
Nice.
And we are out of combat. And as we are out of combat, and as the water just... all the water just settles, and the ripples slow, and the pool in this room becomes still once more, there is a... as the door to the northwest of the room opens. That, my friends, being massively over time tonight, just figured we'd get that one out of the way because they're not too difficult to beat, is where we're going to leave it tonight. So, in a small epilogue for tonight, 2 cities look in respective directions as a blue beacon of light cascades into the sky. In a city of black metal and rock and fire, a red-skinned fiend, horned, cloaked and helmed, stands, looks to his right, where the devil form of Bel stands. It is time you saw to your failure. Let us go and see this out. The drums, the horns, bring them all. And there is just this boom, 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 boom. And he stands and steps off his throne and looks out across his grand city of hellfire into the desert beyond. And legions upon legions of devils and corrupted humanoids, corrupted men, corrupted mortals are beginning to turn and march. And they march south. We flip to another city. Atop a scholarly building, there's this shimmering shield. Sort of blocks and distorts vision shut slightly. But this blue beacon of light shoots up into the sky, and they just turn and begin to ring a bell. Cling, 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 cling. Figure steps out of the shadows. What is it, boy? A beacon, sir, a beacon! Light in the sky! Leonin steps forward. And the cream ochre robes that they wore, book at their side. Bloody gash across the sort of front of their face.
Well, so he was telling the truth after all. The king has risen this day. Man the gates. Let us see if such a king will grant us audience. 'Tis time, acolyte. Light the beacons. Send word to every corner of this land. Nylon fights. Nylon fights for its freedom. And this time I will not fail.
And that's where we'll leave it for this evening. So thank you very much. Thank you all for joining us on what has been another awesome episode. There's been some real manifestations tonight and some major plot arcs almost closing. Ridiculous character arcs coming to a fore. But yeah, I'm loving as we are literally barreling towards the end of this campaign now. So we will see where we go from here. Obviously, the boys have got the rest of this dungeon to see through, and we will see to that next week. But Nylin is beginning to form its last stand, shall we say. So thank you to all the tools we've used. Again, I will not go through them all, but obviously Incarnate's come to the fore, and Hero Forge has definitely come to the fore tonight. Thank you to those tools for all they've been able to provide, and thank you to Albi Rodeo as well for being an awesome virtual tabletop. Version 2.0 is just going to be better. Let's just see where that goes with the public beta and those sorts of things. Don't forget to go and check out BattleBards if you enjoyed the sound effects you've heard. Some of those musical ambiance tracks, which I think have come some from BattleBards tonight, but also from Tabletop Audio. Go and check both of those sites out. We can only give you the discount code from for BattleBards. And I know I can see people in the chat saying, please don't let this campaign end, but knowing what I've got planned, knowing what some of the players have already got planned, campaign 2 is just going to be as good. So don't worry, there is more epicness to come even as we see this campaign to a close. But let's focus on this one. Let's see this one out. Thank you all for joining us once again. Love you all. Great to see some familiar faces back in the chat tonight. Thank you to those watching on YouTube. Hi, we love you all. Please like, subscribe, all those good things. Hit the bell button. Make sure you get those notifications when we release the new episodes. And to all of those listening on the podcast, I know there's more and more of you every week. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey. Rate and review, whatever you can do to help support us as a very small group of just sort of 4 friends weaving our way through this streaming journey, please do. But I think with that, until next week, stay safe. Much love to you all. We will see you next time.